Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. So, I was just talking about this with Twitch chat, but I'll let you guys know. I think one of the very special things about this podcast is giving up my platform for an hour or two each week to you, the people who watch, the people in Twitch chat, and the obvious, very dramatic, insane thing that happened this week is the roadmap updates, right? The changes to the roadmap and the post that is more the topic of discussion rather than the actual changes. And I would have normally covered that this week, but Zero and I planned this a week out to talk about whatever and just hang out and do a podcast together before we knew what any of this stuff would be. And honestly, I've said my piece. I know Zero has as well. We're going to touch on it very briefly at the beginning here. But today is going to be a conversation with one of my favorite streamers on the platform and somebody I watch a lot regularly. I want some of you guys to get to know him if you don't, and I want to get to know him more through the podcast as well. So I'm very excited for this one, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Zero, welcome. Hello. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm doing good. It's a little early for me on a Sunday, but I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. I was exhausted getting back from work and hung out in your chat for a few hours last night, and I was like, yeah, I got 6 hours before I have to start streaming, and I'm like, and Zero is still going hard, so like it's gonna be early for you.
Yeah, I should have probably gone to bed a little earlier, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So just a little intro in case people aren't familiar with you. I know you post like a little bit on YouTube, and since this does go on YouTube, it might reach people that don't necessarily. So who are you? How did you first find Star Citizen? Give us kind of like the background a little bit.
Okay, so I'm Zero.
Yeah.
I first found Star Citizen in like 2013, right? So one of those people. And it was a friend of mine was like, hey, there's this cool new space game that's going to come out in a couple of years. And
Yeah.
So I backed it. I backed it and just kind of watched the project and dropped it for a while. And when I think it was 2 point something came out, there was more flight and stuff. Did the hangar module thing, and it was like, oh, this is neat, this is pretty, whatever. And then just kind of picked it up once in a while again, and then probably 2 years ago, really started playing it, more.
Yeah.
Like to the point where you could, do things, and I started streaming like 4.5 years ago, all sorts of different games, Fallout 4 and Skyrim and all these other ones, and I was like, well, is Star Citizen like a playable thing? So I started tuning into some streamers, and I was like, this seems like it could be fun to stream. So I started getting into that too, and here we are.
Yeah. And you did say you post a little bit on YouTube. I've caught a few videos, but like, what kind of content do you make there? Are you making it, like, trying to make it regularly, thinking about it? Well, I know you and I both work,
make it
but
regularly.
You work full time, right? So it's a little bit more difficult.
I work full time IT at a hospital, and it's been a weird couple of years. So on top of that, I stream, and it's hard for that, then to make time for like all the content and everything else on YouTube and things. But so typically the videos I make are like short, quick, like how-tos. Like for instance, like this is how you get out of Lorville, because people ask me that all the time. They're like, how do you get out of these freaking cities? And so I was like, all right, let's make a video about that, of like just a 1-to-1. This is me leaving Lorville and getting to Everest Harbor. I feel like that helps new players or something like that, right? So I started making videos like that, and I started doing that a little bit more consistently. And lately I just haven't, but I would love to continue doing that. And getting in a rhythm and getting used to like, using whatever program you're using, I think is really important, For
sure. I've been using Premiere for a long time, and the more I see what other, like, I watch a tutorial video or whatever and see how people use it, like, the more I realize I know nothing about it, and I'm doing everything wrong or whatever.
I started using Photoshop for like emotes and stuff like that, a couple of years ago, and I was like, I don't know nothing about this. I know how to make like a drop shadow. Go me.
Yeah. I have to call my wife because she's very good with it, and I'll be like, oh, can I do this? Like, how do I? My wife made this whole overlay and everything, and like, sick. I was like, can we do this, and this thing? And I'm like, I don't know how. can you teach me how to do it? And she'll be like, no, just give me the mouse. And she just goes and does it. And it's like 3 seconds, it's done. I'm like, okay, awesome.
So that's why you married her. I get
yes.
it. Yeah.
For overlays.
She married you for your money. You married her for her Photoshop skills. It makes perfect sense.
Exactly, right? All true statements. No. The one thing that I think everybody asks everybody, so I have to. What was the first ship you bought Star Citizen with? What'd you back with?
It was a 325A, and it was like way pre 300 series rework.
Yeah.
So this is like the original 325A, which not a whole lot different, but there were some big differences. But I loved like the missile racks in the buttress wings.
Yep.
It was my favorite looking ship forever, and I had it for a long time.
Dude, I don't think there was much that could compare to the 300 series back then in terms of looks, right?
It was definitely cool, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I almost believe that may be one of the things that like pushed Star Citizen in the direction of where they are now, is like seeing maybe the emotions that people got from ships like those. Like, man, that was a ship that I always thought was just cool. It just felt like I guess like a BMW, Mercedes type thing.
Yeah. What did they market it as? Kind of like the long range luxury bounty hunting vessel.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So always then was like combat your kind of interest in the game? Because you went with the combat ship.
Yeah, I think I just saw like most of my video, like if I flew in a game, like Descent Free Space was like my first real like space, sim, as it were, a space shooter. And your combat is like the game, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just something I was really used to, and so it appealed to me the most because of that, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So I teased this a little bit. The reason that, like, one of the reasons why I really, really enjoy your stream and think that you're an amazing streamer is not trying to make your head giant or anything, but when I go to your channel, somebody pops in and says hello, me included, you say hello, and you know something about them or about what's been going on in their life, and you ask them how they're doing and how that specific thing is doing. And I've noticed that with like so many viewers that are popping into your chat, not just myself. I think that is awesome. And I wonder, like, I'll pose a question with this too a little bit, is why do you stream? What do you enjoy about it? Is it that camaraderie and that friendship kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's something, it might be a little like quote unquote ADHD fueled, right? But I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's just, it's interesting to be like part of someone's day in a little way.
Yeah.
And then to try to find a way to make them part of your day in a way. And it's hard to do that sometimes because, if people if you're streaming for a long time over a period of 8-10 hours, whatever it is.
Yep.
And people are like filtering through and, things like that is kind of hard, but yeah, I mean, it's something that I feel like I've just always kind of tried to do is talk about somebody's day in some way. I don't know. I
think you're achieving it. I think that's like
Thanks.
The thing that really stuck out to me about you is like a lot of people play video games and talk, right? But one of the things that really stuck out was that for me. I was like, wow, he really makes it a personal experience when you come to his stream and really makes it something like exactly what you said. I'm a part of your day and you're a part of my day. And I thought that was something that's really special. And I have the worst memory in the world. And it drives me insane when I forget viewers' names, or it's not like I've gotten so big or anything like that. You and our view counts are, I think yours is actually higher on average than mine. And it's not like we have a difference in the amount of people that are stopping by. And it's just I that's one of the things that I kind of actually envy you for, is you seem to have like this incredible ability to just not only make that a priority for your stream, but actually be able to do it.
Yeah, it's weird. I find myself forgetting a lot of like my short-term memories kind of ass.
Yeah.
So like I'll forget little things, like somebody will say like, "Hey, can I have a party invite?" And I'll
Yes.
be like, "Yeah, just let me not die for a second." And
Yeah.
then like 2 seconds go by, sometimes literally, and I've forgotten it.
Yep.
So, and I'll say like, "Man, I'm so sorry, I forgot about that thing." Or like a good friend of mine, Monocle Man, who he'll be like, "Hey man, I'm stuck here. He's on a planet. Can you help pick me up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man. I'll just let me do whatever I'm gonna do here." And then like 20 minutes later, I'm like, "Monocle, I'm so sorry, I forgot." Like, oh. And he'll be like, "It's all good, dude. Big deal." But long-term memory, I seem to do a little bit better with, like if I've like learned something about somebody or something somebody's going through or whatever. I try to remember that, or I just feel like I'm better at remembering that. I don't know.
True.
But yeah, the short-term stuff not so good.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's use our short-term memory as much as possible now. Let's get the garbage out of the way.
Okay.
The roadmap stuff. So I saw a tweet from you that said like, I didn't really touch on it much. I didn't really want to. I definitely touched on it, and I said my piece. I basically, if you haven't seen the video, just think that the actual actions that they're changing the roadmap are quite positive. I think they're managing expectations properly for the first time ever, and are going, yeah, the roadmap is no longer marketing. The post was a dumpster fire, I think, a little bit. Like, I don't think you just address people in that way and kind of blame them, but not really take any of the blame yourself that much is kind of what it felt like. Like they said, yeah, we made mistakes, and that was my problem with it. Not good, but
yeah. The way I looked at it was like, I feel like the messaging was the biggest problem.
Yeah, and that's what everybody's pissed off about.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, okay, you didn't really mention the fact that, like, at least throw us the bone of like, yes, a shitload of things. Can I say shit here? Yeah, I'm assuming I can.
Yes.
A shitload of things have gotten pushed from the roadmap very consistently over the past year, especially. Yes. We see that downward decline, and we acknowledge it, and we understand that frustrates you. It's not just, well, you guys were whining a lot, because you see it as promises. It's like, well, we didn't really see tentatives as promises. A lot of us didn't. We just saw so many tentatives getting moved that it was like, okay, now it's a little bit of an issue for us,
Like, I don't know if the stats are true, but some people were like, they hit 20% of the things that they put on the roadmap. Like,
yeah,
that's not really, if that's the truth, that's, even if you hit 50% of the things you put on the roadmap, probably not a good batting average. I don't work in software or anything, but that's just not good. A lot of people are posting this video of Aaron saying, the old roadmap was bad. The new one is, we're factoring in all these things, so we're pretty sure everything is going to hit on these new roadmaps. And we're like, okay, Aaron, we believe you. And a lot of people are posting that. And that's why these guys don't get on camera anymore. And I think a lot of the issue is accountability is what people have as well. And I'm like, that's the one that blows my mind. Like the whole existence of CIG and having us buy spaceships is so they don't have to be accountable for anybody or anything, and we can put it out when we're ready. So like the like, we can't hold them accountable now. It's like, you never could in the first place. So like, what are you so upset about?
You can tell that it's genuinely, you can tell that it's easier to build ships than it is to build a game. And that, like, that's just, it's fine. It is what it is, because it is harder to build a game than it is to build ships.
Yeah, it's just art, really. They all
but it's
fly.
like, ships don't miss deadlines very often,
Yeah.
And that's okay. But even like ship functionality, there's some ships that have some interesting functionality. The Redeemer's been a long time in coming, but it's not like a month after or before the Redeemer's out. It's like, all right, we're gonna move this 6 months down the road because we're not even close to ready.
Yeah.
But there's some mechanics that have been kicked down the road for so long that we start to get kind of, as a community, we start to get jaded. We start to get a little bit rightfully frustrated. And then there's some people that take it so far, and then this hyper vocal minority that just light up Spectrum every time anything happens. And then CIG sees that, and then they go, well, let's write, when they write their reasoning out, they take those people into account rather than this kind of larger majority that are just like, hey, we're just a little bit frustrated,
Yeah. And even they aren't the majority. Like, the crazy thing is, like, even they aren't the majority. The majority is people just sitting back going, so just tell me when it's a game, and I'm ready, I'm ready. I'll buy the joysticks and everything, but just tell me when it's a game. When it is, I'll come and join. But right now, no.
Yeah. So I think the messaging of their whole post was not the whole post. There were some good explanations, but that one spot, it just kind of like you read that one, and it sticks with you. You're like, ooh, like that's not the greatest take, because most of us aren't like that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, most of us are just generally frustrated, you know. But
I am sometimes, but I try to be as reasonable as possible, and I lately just try to ask why more than tell them what they should be doing, because I don't know what they should be doing, but I ask, why are you doing what you're doing? Because help me understand, because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, somebody last night was like, I feel like you've got some good ideas, and I was like, I have no idea if those ideas are good, because I don't know if they would be like, if I have an idea and it's like, sure, that's a cool idea, but you know, some dev out there would be like, dude, there's no way that would work, you know, because of this, and this, and this. So it's like, you know, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know, but you can have a good idea and have a good thought, but it doesn't make any sense in the current project, because I don't work at CIG, you know, so I don't know.
I thought I had a really good idea about something related to the loot or whatever, and one of the developers was actually there that worked on that. And even like, I'm sure you're familiar with Jerry, right? We've talked.
Jerry.
I went back and forth with Jerry while he was still at the company about like, why don't we do it this way? And he's like, you don't understand. Like, there is all of these edge cases of why your idea can't possibly ever work. And it's like, you know, we sit and talk and go through all these things, and it's just like, oh, okay, you know, like you think you're so smart sometimes, but in reality, like the reason that those guys are there doing that is because they're looking for the reasons why your idea can't work, and instead of you just coming up with an idea what you hope can, you know, which is what a lot of us do.
Why doesn't CIG just do this 5-head, you know?
Yeah.
And we think people think we're geniuses, you know, or not people. People think, everybody thinks they're their own genius when they think of something like that.
Yeah.
And you know, it's hard because it's like, well, yeah, but this is a game where if you stack 10 whiskey glasses on top of each other and then pick it up, it crashes a server, right? So there are dependencies for everything, you know? So we have to keep that in mind too.
It'll be coffee cups soon, you know?
Yeah, it will. And the coffee what is it? Coffee bartenders will be like, I'll be with you in a minute. That's it. You're done. You know?
Yep. So
I just wanted a coffee.
Yeah. So now that we're done with that, we got that out of the way, I want to talk more about like your stream, what interests you in Star Citizen and those kind of things. So I found you, I think you know this story. I don't watch too many Star Citizen Twitch streams, so you had been streaming for a little while, I think, but I found you through that clip that went on r/games of you landing on the Microtech roof.
Oh, that dumb clip.
That clip was amazing. Like, I see what you just typed. Zero said I found him on OnlyFans in Twitch chat.
Sorry. So the you know, this is a little off topic, but if you guys know TV Liquid, has my favorite OnlyFans command on Twitch, because he actually has an OnlyFans, but when you go there, it's just a one-line thing that says, "I'm here, why are you?" And I think that's hilarious when you read it. It just has this perfect TV Liquid Canadian sarcasm. Anyway, yeah, that it's so weird because like a million people were doing that same race, you know, and a bunch of people were doing it way faster than I was doing it, way smoother than I was doing it. They were making videos and clips just like that, landing on that roof exactly the same way. And I was like, well, it was kind of a cool clip, so I threw it on Reddit, Star Citizen Reddit.
Yeah.
And then like people kind of liked it, whatever is fine. One guy, I'd never met this guy before, grabbed it, turned it into a GIF, and then put it on our gaming, and it just went nuts. And I had like real life friends who didn't know that I streamed. Yeah. That were like, dude, you're literally the front page of Reddit now. I saw your face on Reddit. And I was like, what? Like I was woken up by these things at like 7 a.m. And I was terrified, honestly, like incredibly terrified. I had no idea. So my favorite thing about our gaming is that if you post something, well, if something gets posted of Star Citizen and people on our gaming don't realize that it's our gaming, or that it's Star Citizen, yes, they love it.
Yes.
But if they realize it's Star Citizen, they're like, oh, I read that Kotaku article and I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
it's so true.
Funny. Because you'd have people be like, "This is awesome. What game is this?" And then somebody would comment like, "It's Star Citizen," and then the next comment would be like, "Oh, that game."
Yeah. Oh, chat,
really
help me
funny.
out. See if you can find the clip. Because I actually wasn't prepared. It just popped in my head just now. I didn't think of it until like in the moment of like, this is how I found Zero. I remember that. And it's literally why I was like, I think I want to get away from my crappy sticks, because look at what he just did. Maybe it's the sticks. Like, that's what I thought in my head.
So I'm the reason that you're a PvP tournament warlord, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
One up.
Got it.
You,
Good.
Noodle. You and Noodle. Icy. And one other person who, again, my horrible memory, I'm forgetting. But yeah, that's how I found you, and I was like, oh wow, so that's what VKB6 looked like, and it just looked way smoother and all these things, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I remember it like stuck out to me was like the clip. In case you guys don't know, what I saw, I didn't even know it was part of that race. I had no idea. I just saw that he like started from below. Let's see if my memory is good. Started from below like a building, and then did this like loop and just landed like the most smooth landing of all time. So if we find the clip, I'll bring it up. Yeah, here it is. So it should actually pop up in front of Zero right now, but I'm gonna show you guys in this way. So here it is. Oh, so I see the race now. Yeah, but it was just super smooth. Avenger Titan.
I had
nice.
I had some overheat issues. Yeah. What's weird is when the Titan overheats, it doesn't really like stop thrust. And this is back before capacitors. Yeah, this is before capacitors. So,
dude, that is craziness right there. So yeah, that was that. So yeah, that was very cool. And I was like, wow. So then I started checking out the streams, and you start checking out mine, and here we are.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, you stream at a time frame where like I get to work and I'm sipping on my morning coffee, and I'm like waiting for like, you know, we have like a ticketing system, so I'm grabbing a couple tickets, I'm kind of figuring out what to do. Maybe I'm trying to do one remotely or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like perfect for my second monitor. I'm listening in, I got my headphones on, whatever it is, and you and Noodle and a couple other people, Darklaw, are all kind of on in that time slot. So it's kind of cool to be able to page through and say hi to people and listen to some interesting stuff.
You just made the meme that they spam in my chat true.
Oh fuck.
They spam like, oh wow, Mike, you're the best second monitor streamer. Like, just try to be like, yeah, I don't actually pay attention. You're just on the second monitor. You're trash. But
you're on the main monitor tomorrow morning. Main monitor.
I appreciate it. No, but in general, it's just like that's the time of day I stream, so I'm always going to be a second monitor streamer, because no matter where you sit in the world, unless you're Australian, I think, I'm not really going to be at like your prime-ish time, and even then it's like really late at night.
Yeah, what's a good time zone to move to for primetime Mike? Like Hawaii? No.
Probably.
Not Hawaii.
No, not Hawaii.
Thailand, maybe?
Like Russia.
Maybe Thailand. Russia? Good. Siberia.
Yeah, like the middle of Siberia with no internet. That's where you would watch me.
7 p.m. with their Siberian popcorn.
Yeah.
And sitting down and tuning in.
For sure. Yeah. I think like 2 p.m. Eastern time is supposed to be like that's when you're supposed to stream on Twitch.
Huh.
That's when the most people are there.
Be like 8 p.m. in the UK, 8 or 9 p.m.
Yep.
And then you'd get a lot of like, interesting.
Yeah, you're getting prime time, EU, and then the kids are coming home from school in an hour or two, and then you get the nighttime people. So depending on how long you stream, and I stream at like the worst time possible. They
get home just in time to hear you talk about how Star Citizen is a shit game, and then go play Farm Sim. It's perfect.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Farm Sim is always there to hold you when you need it.
Everyone's giving me such a hard time for playing Farm Sim.
I don't know why. That game is addicting, man.
It is. They just don't understand.
Painting a field, something about painting a field green. It's just special, man.
Yeah. It's so simple, but it is so enjoyable. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your go-to games that aren't Star Citizen?
Oh man. Well, it's hard because like obviously I play Star Citizen a lot,
Yeah.
but I mean I kind of like Deep Rock Galactic. I've liked Age of Empires 2 for like the Age of Empires for forever. I've liked those a lot. I played New World quite a bit, but you know, the same thing happened
We
to me
all
that happened to
dropped
every
it.
person who played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I enjoyed it.
I loved Fallout 4. I liked Fallout 76, but I got sick of it real fast. Apparently, it's better now, but I got tired of it over time. Deep Rock Galactic, I've really been playing a little bit more lately, kind of off stream. And Satisfactory is just so addicting. Like,
Yes.
oh my gosh,
They have
that's
their own
actually a fun
servers now,
game.
right?
You can run servers, yeah.
Yes.
And like you can make factories that are insane. Like they span like a mile.
Yep.
And it's like the way that you can work it all out with the power grids and everything. I have a couple of friends that I kind of jump in servers with from time to time and play with them, and it's just, and there's exploration in it. You can just go run into the woods and get killed by some creature.
Yep.
On these planets. It's a really good game. If you guys haven't played Satisfactory, it's a really good game. It's hard to get used to, but then again, we're all Star Citizens here, so you're used to hard to get used to games. So yeah, it's a really good game.
I played it when it first came out, and I enjoyed it a lot, but it was a little bit difficult to play with others at the time. And I said, I am putting it down. I am waiting for the moment that they get servers, and then I'll run my own server. So I think I'll probably get into it if the server that I rent can do it, then I think.
Yeah.
So
it's a game that's kind of like it's almost like Eco in a way, and not quite, because Eco is more like economic and stuff. There's a lot of like economy in it, but it
little
has that
details
same kind of feel. Yeah, little details, and like they build you a world, like you load into a world, and then you get to just kind of create what you want in it, which is really cool.
Yeah. I've always loved city builders, so it was kind of interesting to be like, it feels like almost like a city builder, but in like very close proximity instead of that overhead view in a way. I know you're not building like buildings and Sims and all that stuff, but
it's more first person for sure.
Yeah. And I like that. I don't know. Do you do anything? Do you take part in the other aspects of Star Citizen besides cargo? Do you enjoy them, or are you finding, or besides combat, but are you finding your way? Like, I look at PvP streamers and combat streamers like with kind of envy sometimes, because I feel like you can always find maybe a little something, like what your loops, while not perfect, exist, while the loops that I'm interested in don't quite yet and require things like an economy and like kind of more of the real foundations of Star Citizen, which are way off. But
yeah,
like I know you do a lot of, and I want to really kind of dive into this and what you think about it, is like player bounties and things like that, and what you think about them. And obviously we've seen the player bounty V2 end up back on the roadmap, which you're already smiling. So yeah.
So it's weird because like a year ago, I was a rock miner for the most part. Rock miner. I did some low flying, and regular mining and stuff like. I mean, it was enjoyable. It's always something where you can go out and just relax and chill and talk with people or whatever you're gonna do. And I still do once in a while. I still enjoy it. But I never got, like, once they added refineries, and that was kind of where I was transitioning to a little bit more, like most of my gameplay is a little different.
Yeah.
And so I never really got to know the refineries that well, and I probably should sometime. But I really enjoyed that. A big thing for me, like, I really like the FPS missions. Like, even if it's a player bounty, going into FPS like adds a little bit extra excitement.
That is the most,
because like ship to ship
exciting
combat, you're either gonna. What'd you say?
I think it's the most exciting is the FPS aspects.
Yeah,
like
the FPS is fun.
If you're chasing a bounty and they're actually in FPS, I mean, like, that is one of the more heart racing things for me. And I literally turn off the bounty marker. Like, if I know they're down there,
that too.
Turn off the bounty marker, and it's like, it gets intense. But then I've experienced some fun bugs that I was like, oh, triggered me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The hard thing about FPS is that it's so like so if you guys know this, but like everything that happens in FPS happened at least a half second
Yeah.
before you see it. So like we tested this once where I was around a corner and somebody else was on the other side of the corner, and I went tell me on Discord when you see me. And so I jumped around the corner and I had like almost a full second, and then I said like I can see you, and he was like almost a full second later he's like okay, I see you come around the corner. So it's like I had a full second to shoot him, theoretically, before he saw me or come around the corner.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of FPS desync that we just deal with in Star Citizen. So FPS is really like that. You know what I mean? And because of that, it's a different experience. It's not that, I'm sneaking through the thing as slow as I can. The best way to kill somebody in Star Citizen and FPS is to jump around a corner and rush. Yeah. Peeker's advantage, exactly.
Just like Tarkov, right? I think Tarkov has that problem.
A little bit, yeah.
Or had it.
I hope that changes, because creating a lot more like visceral experience in FPS would be really good. But
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I mean, and that's just a big thing for me. I really enjoy that. Because if you're in a ship, you come across somebody and you're like, okay, there's a guy in a Pisces. He's got like a CS4. Clearly, he killed a bunch of guards or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a Pisces, and I'm in a tooled up Buccaneer or something like that, right? And, it's probably not going to go well for him, probably. Or you come across somebody, you're like, okay, this is a Carrick, and I'm in a tooled up. But if that Carrick lands and he gets out and goes into a base, the great equalizer, right?
Yep.
Now it's FPS and I can still get him. So some of my best bounties, my favorite ones, have been like if somebody's on the ground in a Carrick and they have their hangar open, and I'll literally drop into their ship and try to make it through the Carrick and kill them, which is super fun. But moments like that are few and far between. So FPS is kind of that great equalizer, I think. It brings you down to that base level.
Yeah, for sure. I think I have not been more excited for Star Citizen than I was in 315 with like looting, medical, inventory, plus the additions to those bunker missions. And I have not gotten past, I think, level 2 of the bunker missions yet. I just haven't grinded them enough, and
it's been tough.
I think I'm going to try again, but yeah, there's just that one. I don't think it's a bug either. You had it the other day where you're dead on the server, but you're alive on your client, and you can't do anything, so you have to call somebody in to come and help you and stuff. That one is the one that I hope is like the priority, to be like, this is what's happening, please fix that. And then I don't think I would have many issues. If you die, you die. I just want to know I'm dead and be able to like respawn and go back or whatever.
Well, the hardest is like you get shot by an NPC and your health goes down to like 20% and you're bleeding out, and you're like, oh great, med pen, this is perfect. So you med pen or you heal yourself, whatever. And then like the time ticks down, like there's a magical timer somewhere that's like 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, as you're like still bleeding out on the server. And then you lay down on your back and you're like, why did I just lay down? So you get up and you shoot some people, but you can't reload. And then you lay down every like 5 to 10 seconds. And it's like consistently like that. What happened is the server kind of got this, that character is downed, trigger. But your client did not, because on your client, you saved yourself. So it just happens constantly until somebody, the first place your character laid down is where the server sees your character as down. So if you get a friend to come in to that spot and res you, then you will teleport to your client's position. Which is crazy, but that's a very interesting, very weird bug that is pretty frustrating for sure. For sure. The missions are at least completing more often. And you don't take rep hits when they fail, which is good. So
like that was the one thing that I was doing it with the people who made it watching, and I was like, damn dude, like I have to cancel this and look at how much rep I lost. Like it is what it is to have bugs, but like we do want to try and make some progress too, and it's hard.
I think you did some Zero to Hero stuff when 315 went live too, and we both did, I think, and a lot of people did. And that's the most frustrating thing, is like one of 315's biggest features was these new FPS things, the new missions, the medical gameplay, the ability to, like, during my Zero to Hero, I even did a couple of player bounties, right? And you would take them and you'd be like, okay, this is a good opportunity, and I'm going to do it. Because if it wasn't a good opportunity, I wasn't going to take the risk and lose my Zero to Hero run. But it's like, if this is a sure thing, I'll do it, right? Um, and so I killed a couple of player bounties, and I'm like, but where did his body go? I can't loot him. Like that's like the whole 315's point was like deadly consequences. You die, you lose your stuff. So it was pretty frustrating to have all those looting issues and then you take one of the FPS missions in a 0 to hero run and you can't complete it. Your rep gets hit to the point where you don't see those missions anymore. So you're like, well, I guess I got to do what I always did in 314 and go regular bounty hunting.
Yep.
So that was a really tough thing when you're trying to do something that's so touchy like that. But
yeah, that's like bugs are frustrating, but the just general something not working at all is like, it's probably better to just get it working than just deliver it and have it. I don't know. That's just how I'm starting to feel about Star Citizen in general. Is like, I'd rather not have it if it's not going to work 70% of the time, you know?
Well, I remember they talked about, I can't remember how long it was ago. They were like, we don't want to do any more tier 0 stuff.
Yeah.
Right. We want to implement stuff at like tier 1 level, which is good because hopefully that means that things are more fleshed out. You know, we don't just get this base level, really, really janky thing. We get something that's a little bit more, you know, ingrained before it's implemented, which is cool. So
that's like we're moving the stuff to squadron, bringing it to what we would consider like tier 1, and then giving it. So like the things that all left the roadmap again, like to come back to that everybody was pissed off about, like that's kind of the idea behind that. I don't know how you feel, Zero, but I don't like trust the words that come out of the mouths anymore. I just wait until I see what they do, and that'll be that. Because that's all we can go off. Sure. Yeah, so I'm just going to be a results-oriented person, which is not how you're supposed to be in poker. I don't like the results-oriented is a negative thing to say in poker. Like you tell people don't be results-oriented. Because you can make the right decision in poker, but get unlucky, and then people get upset because they got unlucky and think that they made the wrong decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So it's like a huge negative to be results oriented as a poker player.
So I never got a chance to ask you this, which you asked me, but how did you get into Star Citizen? Because I obviously came to your channel in the last year or so, but what's your history there? Because you're kind of an OG, far as I know. So I came to it because I was playing this MMO called Ultima Online, very, very old MMO, and I basically was like playing poker, very similar to the way my stream is now, like part-time professionally, and doing that as like a side thing, and then still dealing poker at the same time. And when online poker was banned in the United States and I couldn't do that anymore because I enjoyed that way more, I'd play like 24 tables at a time and like be clicking constantly, like just like the Matrix kind of was on your screen. Like people would make fun of people like us, like we were psychos. Like, how do you do that? That was like me in Yahoo Pool as a kid.
Sure.
Maybe not quite that bad, but something like that.
I don't know. Like you're making decisions in half a second with money, like it, like nonstop. Yeah. So let's say I'd be buying in $100 to each table, but there's 24 of them. So it'd be like you have $2,400 out there, and they're constantly making decisions. Like, okay, this guy went all in, blah 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 blah. So like the money swings are like crazy, but they're not if you're like most poker decisions are really easy to make. So whatever. They ban it online. I start trying to play live semi-professionally. It's too slow. It's boring. People are miserable and negative, and I can't be around gamblers. That's how I'm probably the way that I am, is around all the negative people that I am around all the time. But I need something to do now in my free time, because that's what I was doing. And I was like, before I started playing poker, I was playing Ultima Online. I was like, let me go back to that. And I played that for a while, and then on one of the forums, somebody was like, hey, this Kickstarter, Chris was a part of Ultima Online. A lot of the people that work at the Austin studio were a part of Ultima Online. They made it. And like Origin Systems was like the people who made UO. And so somebody was like, hey, Chris Roberts from Wing Commander and Ultima Online is making this thing. And I checked it out, and I didn't know what Kickstarter was. I thought it was a scam. Ironic. and I didn't do it for a while, and then Linus Tech Tips posted a video about Star Citizen, and that's what legitimized it for me. And I backed I think late 2013 with an Aurora LN because I thought I would do combat as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And I just did the Arena Commander thing for a while, and what got me into streaming was I don't know, Soda Poppin's stream seemed incredibly fun, and that was probably one of the first people that inspired me. And then Towley was more the conversational, because WoW was a game you would just kind of he'd play, but he'd be talking to people constantly. I was like, this is cool. So that's kind of what drew me to streaming, but that's what got me into SC in particular. Yeah.
Oh boy, how many of us have
I played
spent
Wing
a bunch
Commander
of money
and all that too when I was
how many of us have spent a bunch of money on the phrase, hey, there's this Kickstarter? hey, there's this Kickstarter that's coming out pretty soon.
How many other things have you kickstarted other than this? I've only kickstarted one other thing.
I think two, maybe
two,
three,
actually.
but so I did one thing called a hover pen.
Okay.
That
sounds like the biggest scam of all time. The hover pen?
No, it's the stupidest little thing. It's a little aluminum base, and it was cheap. It was I don't know, $30 or something, $20, and it's a nice pen that stands upright and in this little holder, and I just thought it was neat, and I was like, screw it, why not?
Is it on your desk?
I use it at work, all the time.
Okay.
I take notes with it all the time.
Hey.
And now I think I get emails about it still because I don't know how to stop emails from Kickstarter, but they are up to the Hover Pen 3.0. So
wow,
feel free to go make them some money. I don't know if they're.
That's hilarious.
The other thing that I remember was I played Descent Destination Saturn way back in the day, which is like Descent Free Space's predecessor. Okay. There was Descent 1, there was Descent 2, and then I can't remember if there was a 3 or not, and then there was Free Space, and then Free Space 2. And Free Space 2 is the reason. Free Space and Free Space 2 are the reason why I play Star Citizen, because I played those games. They're also the reason why I use Twist to Roll, which is it freaks people out sometimes. But
I use Twist to Roll too. It just feels natural.
Yeah, it feels normal to me. Yeah, because I feel like in Star Citizen, your yaw and your pitch are similar speeds, so having those on similar axes, right?
Yeah,
makes sense to me. But
yeah,
there's a game called Overload, which was kickstarted. I heard about it, and I was like, this is the actual what's the word? Not sequel, but the actual brainchild of the original Descent games. Yeah. It was made by the people who originally made Descent.
But now, they couldn't get the rights to it, I remember, right? And then there's the other Descent Underground that got rights. Now it's a big mess.
Yeah, Descent Underground was a weird, because I was excited about Descent Underground, and then I found out it was more like, I don't know, it almost has like a Rocket League style, kind of faster. Yeah. It's not really meant to be this. It's not like the spiritual successor to the original Descent games, which is what I was excited about. So Overload is that. You're actually going into these mines. It's the same story, kind of. There's more audio and things like that. It's a 6 Degrees of Freedom. It does head tracking. It's Toby enabled, which is cool. And you can do VR with it too. Dual sticks and everything works in it. It's a pretty cool game. And I kickstarted that. I think those are the only two things that I remember kickstarting, aside from Star Citizen.
I kickstarted some guy who used to work at CIG, or still did at the time, made some board game. I kickstarted that, and then I also kickstarted this card game called Exploding Kittens. And
I know that game.
I never opened the box because I don't have friends.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. It was I kickstarted it at the time when I had roommates and friends and we would play games, and then we got older, and then you just lived. I was living with my girlfriend, and then I was single, and now I have a wife, and it's we don't play board games as much anymore, or at all, because it's just the two of us now. So it made sense at the time, but I've never used it because the Kickstarter delivered it after everybody kind of started going their own way. And now it's just in a box somewhere. Yeah. But those are my two Kickstarters.
Isn't the worst feeling, okay, this is off topic, but the worst feeling is living with somebody for a long time and then not anymore. That transition is...
Ooh, it depends. It was the best feeling of all time for me. It was the best feeling ever.
Depends on your situation.
Yeah, like okay, true. So like when I first started streaming, I was living here with my ex, and she wanted to sleep, I wanted to stream, and it was always like this fight. And I streamed at the same time, 6 a.m. Right? I get home from work like 3 or 4 in the morning. I would eat dinner, you know, take a shower, whatever, and then I would stream. And I would stream until like 10 a.m. and then I go to sleep. Because you want to have like when you work overnight, you work in a hospital, so you may have done it a few times, but like you want to, at least for me, I wanted to have like what a normal person's day would be. So you wake up basically right before you go to work, you eat breakfast, you take a shower, and then you go through your day, and then you do what you would do. Like you would go out to eat, you would watch a movie, then you would go to bed, you would play video games, then you would go to bed. So I tried to do that, and I mean that was like a source of like headbutting, but we were like, it was never working anyway. That was just like one of the things that helped like speed up the breakup, which is good. But no,
so you're saying you did it on purpose, is what you're saying, for the
true,
you did it for the out. Yeah,
true. No, but when for me personally, because it was like it was a much needed separation. It was so nice to be alone for a little while, because I went to college. I immediately moved to Atlantic City and started dealing poker. Had roommates. Like I was never alone, and I like my alone time a lot. So it was nice for a little while, but then it immediately changes into like, damn, like pretty lonely, man. I'd like to interact with people outside of a casino. That would be cool. So I got that feeling that you're mentioning, but it took a little while to get there.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
There's nothing like sitting down on a couch in a really quiet like house or apartment, turning on some show that you don't really want to watch with nobody else there. That is a sucky feeling.
Yeah.
After a while.
Yeah.
So finding things to do is a big part of it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. We had this conversation. I don't know if I should go here or not. We had this conversation on the Burks Answer the Call.
Okay.
Have you done the online dating thing?
I have tried it.
We talked a little bit about it yesterday.
I went on a couple of dates. And this is in the more so in the past.
Yeah.
I've pretty much no lifing it hard right now, but since COVID. But and the one I remember most is she was cute. Mm-hmm. She seemed into me. She brought her dog. I brought my dog. We went to this place, you know, like for a good walk, talked about all sorts of stuff. Seems great, right? Right after the date, I texted her, whatever, was like, that was fun, you know, whatever it was. And she was like, yeah, I just feel like more of a friendship connection. And I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's so many moments like that where you invest something and you know, you gotta invest in the process, but it's just feels so hit and miss.
Dude,
you know?
Dating nowadays is like so insane. It's so different. Like before it was always like who was in your immediate vicinity was like your pool. And now the pool is so big that I think people are getting pickier and not giving anybody a chance. Like first impressions mean way too much, and then you get the pressure of a first impression. Yeah. And then your first impression is hard to do because there's like all these like shitty pressures too. I don't know. Yeah. People in general suck as well.
Yeah. There's a foolproof way to make sure that if you find somebody you really like, that you're definitely going to marry them, right? So the first thing you do mid first date is ask them about politics. It'll promise you it'll work out great. Yeah. So try that. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah. Yep. And what oh shit. So if you ask them about it, what's your immediate abort then?
Oh, I don't know.
If they start getting into it? Like for me, if you get into it at all, I'm immediately aborting. Like if you're like really passionate about one side or the other, I'm out. I don't even care what side you're on.
I think I'm there too. I feel like anytime that somebody does something that's like, I don't know, it's hard because in the moment you handle things like that you normally like after the fact you look back and you're like, wow, that was really fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I don't, because in the moment you just like your I don't know, your monkey brain just kind of like soldiers on,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like if I really needed to get on a date, maybe you'd be like, hey, hang on a minute, my girlfriend's texting me. I don't know. No, I don't know. I feel like for me, like an instant, like giant, like a black flag, because there's red flags and there's black flags, right?
True.
Like an instant black flag, I mean, would be just like a disrespect to another, like a random person. Like a waiter comes up.
Ooh,
and somebody's like super disrespectful to somebody they don't even know.
Yep.
I'm just like, wow, that's somebody you don't even know. What are you like in a relationship? You know, like, you're going to be curb stomping me in the kitchen or something, 2 years from now if I stay with this. So,
yeah.
Dude,
I like, especially for me and the job that I do, like that is it is a black hole flag, right? Is like you treat people who deal with the public with the utmost respect. Like to the point where like, even if I don't like food, I don't even ask, like I don't even like return it back. Like I just don't want to, like I know what it's like I will never try to give you a hard time. I will try to make your life as easy as possible because I know what it's like. And like if there were just more people out there that were like, yo, that job fucking blows and I'm not here to make it worse for them, the whole world would be a better place. Because it is brutal.
Yeah, I worked in retail for a couple of years and at an office supply store. So everybody coming in wants something and has a problem. Else.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Too.
And so I get that too, And so especially when I go into like I go into a Best Buy or an office supply store, the only people who it's okay to be rude to in a Best Buy are Geek Squad. That's your cutoff, and they're right at the front door. So leave your shit at the front door. Go get your stuff. It's the only people it's okay to be rude to is Geek Squad.
Now, why is it? Because they're just basically scamming you?
No, I'm just it's just Geek Squad is kind of a scam, and the people are nice. Nothing against them.
Of course. But yeah, it's just one of those things where that's how I feel about just all people in general. Like if you can be the nicest guy at the casino or whatever where I work, but if like something a little like happened to them, like maybe they lost a little bit of money or a decision that I made cost them a little bit of something, and they instantly turn on you, I was like, so that's who you are, not this facade that you're putting up. I got it. So we're dead. You and I you're dead to me. And I'm like that too. I'm really bad about that.
This isn't like a universal thing, but if you generally speaking, if you want to learn who somebody is, watch them lose something.
Yeah.
Like watch them lose anything. It could be something small, like they lose their keys. It could be like $100 at a poker game. Watch them lose something and see who they turn into, and that's usually pretty indicative of how they're going to act when they don't get their way in life.
Yes, exactly. And it's usually like a child. Like I've said this phrase like way more times than I'm proud of. Like, I went to college to be a teacher, but I realized like I don't like children and don't want to deal with their crap. And then I ended up here dealing with adults who act like children. Like this is like the worst scenario possible. But I mean what was I gonna say? I had something a minute ago, but I forgot it. Dang.
If you want to know who a backer is, watch them get their roadmap taken away.
Yeah.
And see who they turn into, and then
I mean, I kind of want to talk about the Star Citizen community a little bit. The thing that frustrates me the most is it's very much like that. If you ever disagree or have any competing view with them, wow, why? I mean, I feel like it's just people in general, though, but it's just interesting.
So I think I don't know, the Star Citizen community, and there's a lot of other Star Citizen or a lot of other communities that are like this too, I think, and gaming is a big part of it, right? That cat is adorable. So like there's a lot of like techie people in Star Citizen. So naturally speaking, and I don't mean this, I'm an IT guy, so I get it. There's a lot of know-it-alls. Who they understand a lot of in-depth things. There's a lot of like people that code in Python, people that could talk to you about how Discord is built, people that talk to you about the flaws with OBS versus, Streamlabs OBS or whatever. So there's people that know things, and anytime you have people that know things, you have this natural, a million egos that are all mashed into one project.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think why you see so much hyper, like, of backers, and I'm guilty of it too, like theory crafting about things that I don't know how they work. I just go, wouldn't it be cool if, and then you start to get all these ideas, and then these, like I said, you get like a million different, it's like a melting pot of egos, and so a game like this is very, very prone to that, I think.
True. What do you think about clickbait?
What, like with Star Citizen or in general? Depends. I mean, I get it, I get the idea behind it, but sometimes it's ridiculous, Yeah. Like the one clickbait that does sometimes get me is when it's like really off topic and all caps, Yeah. But I don't mind it from a marketing standpoint, I guess.
People lose their minds sometimes with that stuff, which is pretty funny. But like it comes down to, like, I've explained this so many times, and I see it like every video I post, and I don't think my stuff is super clickbaity either. Is like, people get really upset. Oh, SaltEMike, just a clickbait YouTuber. And I'm like, okay. So you never watch the video, you just see the thumbnail. But yeah, it's like, they don't understand. It's part of the game. And I think that's what, like, it's kind of what I find to be interesting too, is YouTube does make it a little bit of a game. I'm sure you're familiar with this, like the little, this video is 1 out of 10. Like, when you see that stuff, and they literally tell you why it's 1 out of 10. Like, more people are clicking this video. How do you get somebody to click your video without, like, without, you can't make a video promoting another video. Like, so it's just like one of the things you do. Yeah. But there are some crazy ones, like, we need to talk, like those kind of things.
Okay, so chat needs to know something, Mike, and this is a little, we'll get back to that. But speaking of clickbait, what is Stream Elements saying when it says response message?
Bro, I don't know. Do you have that problem too?
No, mine never does that. And it usually response message, there's like a trigger for it. Like somebody did something, or somebody typed something, and Stream Elements can read your chat and like automatically reply. But I've been seeing that for like the last, I don't know, week or so.
Yeah, it's like been like 2 or 3 weeks. I definitely made a change during a sponsor stream to like, for a timed message, but there's
it could be in your timers, but yeah, I don't know.
But all the timers are off, except for the ones that are on. None of them say response message.
It's a part of the stream now. Hey, so the other thing too, I learned this, that you can petition, I think it's Twitch, to permanently mod your Stream Elements, unless you like the gifted subs that people give to Stream Elements, which happens too.
Yeah. It's, I think, because I moved to Stream Elements recently, the Streamlabs bot is the one that's partnered. Like,
that makes
partnered.
Sense. How long have you been on SE?
The last maybe 3 or 4 months.
Oh, yeah, so that's pretty recent.
I'd wanted to move for a long time, but I've been waiting.
Did you move because of the drama?
No. But what's funny is the day I moved was the day after the drama. But it was actually like a planned thing for a while. But like I'd actually planned to move maybe years or a year earlier. It was I mean, I don't know who makes your art, if you do it or whatever, or if you have somebody that you know that does it. But I've been looking for artists and for things to update a lot of my stream stuff. And because like a lot of my stuff that's left over is still from like when my screen name was Twerk17. Right. And I wanted to update it to more of the current stuff, and I had different ideas. It's been a while. So I paid somebody up front. They never did anything except for a kind of crappy logo, which I've shown to some people, but it's not that good. And then I have a member from the community who's helping out with some things, but I'm not giving him any timeline. He just takes his time. Piss Poor Pete, and he's doing some pretty cool stuff.
Oh, Pete's great.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. But he's not an artist, so he's not making a logo or anything.
Oh, gotcha. So
he's doing like animation stuff.
Who, on the loading screen for Star Citizen, you see these like nebula clouds, and he's the first guy who pointed out that the nebula clouds that you see on the right side of your screen during the loading message, they look like ET, like the alien ET, riding a Labrador Retriever. So now you know, and now you can never not see it.
See, like, you have a fun fact. You have a fun fact about everybody. Okay, I'm gonna name some people. You have to give fun facts.
Oh, god damn it! Oh, fuck.
Captain Burks.
Okay. Burks uses hairspray and not like mousse or anything on his hair.
Okay. Moist Noodle.
I have to think for a second. Noodle has many different tarantulas, and his first tarantula, I can't remember the name of it now. I feel bad for not remembering the name. But the first thing that it did, it was a little jumping spider, and it ran underneath his keyboard keys, and it was adorable because he got a little picture of it, like with his little eyeballs looking out of his keyboard. It was adorable.
Okay. I don't know. Should I have chat? Chat, spam some names, and then we'll see if Zero knows an interesting fact about them.
It's too early to perform.
Astropub.
Okay, the Astropub lists on his own Twitter. He lists one of the first things he lists is space pan, like space pansexual.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Auralia.
Oh, Auralia has gotten really into Star Wars lately and has bought more than one lightsaber. And I'm not really sure why, but she seems to enjoy it. So there you go. All
right. Well, now here are two that are like super OG, and I don't know, Saurus and Board Gamer. I don't know if you would have fun facts.
I don't know too much about Saurus or Board Gamer. I do know that Board Gamer's logo is like one of the most recognizable logos that I've ever seen.
Yeah, true.
Not too much about Saurus, though. I just haven't watched enough Saurus because the time frame with me coming into the community a little bit more and him and Saurus not being as much in the community.
Yeah, and he's like kind of starting to get back into it now, but not as much. Yeah.
I think so. Here's a fun fact about Saurus. I heard, and this is not straight from Saurus, but I heard that Saurus played Star Citizen for Jumptown and then uninstalled the game after Jumptown ended. I don't know if that's still the case.
I believe
that's what I. Yeah.
I believe.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know him well enough, but.
DG360. Don't know him?
I don't know that one. The only thing I think about DG360 is I think DG is a brand of like dirt bike and motocross parts. They make exhausts and stuff.
I bet you that's him.
The font of the logos is fairly similar, if I'm not mistaken. It reminded me of it when I saw it.
Oh, Morphologist.
Oh, Morph. The first thing that I remember about Morph is watching one of his videos where he was reviewing the 890 jump. And he doesn't like that there's two staircases in the 890 jump that it like stops. There's a little landing, and then it keeps going up and around to the bridge.
Yeah.
And he spent like a lot of time in that video on that first little step. And he's like, this step makes no sense. I don't know why this step makes no sense. Because there's like not enough space for you to walk past the staircase. And so from an architect standpoint, it triggered him pretty hard.
Nice. Well, Nerd Show and Tell, I don't know much. Oof. Okay. Ooh, that's what I was going to say. I hold grudges really fucking bad. And I made a comment about giveaways on my Twitter one time, and how I don't think it is a good idea for new streamers coming in, especially in the Star Citizen space, to think that they'll achieve what somebody like Nerd can. Right? That's basically what the post was about. And he took it personally and thought it was an attack on him. Like, because I went down the directory and said 9 out of 10 streams had giveaway in their title. And it was like, this isn't a healthy way to build your stream. That's not what streaming is about. And you're not going to get what you want out of streaming by doing it this way. He did, and he had success with it. But he is actually the exception to the rule rather than the rule.
I've done. It's not my main job, so I've done giveaways, right? Because I like the idea of giving back to the community in some tangible way. I do giveaways
right?
too. So if I can, yeah, exactly. But I don't think that it's been something that really grew the channel or the stream for me. So I do kind of agree there. I think it tends to be the exception more than the rule.
I would imagine most of the goals in their head is they would want more viewers, more people to hang out with. Twitch is just more fun when there's more people to talk to, right? That's just how it works. And I just didn't think that would be successful, right? And then him and HC Vertigo got into like a fight in my Twitter mentions about it, and I immediately just blocked them and removed them from my life. I've never spoken to them again. I've never rated them. They don't exist. Because it's the most, like, you know how like people say like their toxic trait on Twitter, and then they say that is my toxic trait. I hold grudges. They didn't like, they literally barely did anything to me, and I was like, no, we're done, and that's it.
I don't know if there's anybody out there in the chat
gotta
who
get
can
over
make
that.
a really good meme out of a video with like overlays. But if you guys ever saw, I can't remember what movie it is. It's a movie where there's like, it's like a family and they're all rock climbing. And I mean, it's a common clip that I see. And they start to fall, and it's an old movie. And the guy's like, you have to cut me loose. Like the dad is like, you have to cut me loose or we're all going to fall, you know, because their like cable is given out or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you had a list of like, I don't know, you could put like Nerd, Show and Tell and Vertigo on there and be like, Mike is the guy cutting the line. I think that'd be funny. I don't know if anybody's really good with that.
I think I need to like reach out to both of them and just be like I need to get over this bullshit that I have. Like, it is a me problem. It is not a them problem, you know? I mean, I think they handled the situation very like poorly and were kind of childish about the whole thing, but I've definitely acted like a fucking child before, right? It's not like they're the only ones there. But what's your Nerd Show and Tell fact? Fun fact. He's been around he hasn't been around for a while as far as the streaming goes.
I was shocked at his tech. I mean, like everybody is, right? Like all the monitors and everything else. But there's an interesting thing that people redeem on his channel called, it's like Go Joe or something like that. And he would say into his mic, and I did for the longest time. I was like, why is he just saying Go Joe for once in a while, or Yo Joe? I think is what he says. And it's because he has a voice attack profile that when he says Yo Joe into his microphone, probably with a keybind or something, it does like a thing on his stream. And like at the time, I was still really simply like, I have scenes and I stream and I don't do anything interesting. And it was just like this mind-blowing thing, like, oh, OBS can do all that stuff. And so that's probably my interesting. Also, he has been remodeling the same room for 2 years.
Yeah, like how many years has it been since he streamed?
I don't know.
But the crazy thing is he's still relevant.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think he built up such a unique setup. Like everything that he was doing was so unique at the time, that I think people just gravitated towards it, and there's a community that got like really ingrained in that interestingness, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that kind of speaks to the Star Citizen community that I talked about earlier, where like there's a lot of techie people in the Star Citizen community, so they're just enthralled by watching that kind of thing, you know?
99% of the streamers that stream on this platform for Star Citizen, if they just went away for a year, nobody would mention them again. Nerd Show and Tell is mentioned on a regular basis still.
Yeah.
That is a unique quality.
It is.
To have.
And people still, like Rexzilla, for instance, is a good one. Where, like, that guy's voice is just bonkers.
True.
But he's on Facebook Gaming. I think he still has a deal with Facebook Gaming where I don't know if they still pay him or whatever. But yeah, he's regularly mentioned by Star Citizen people in Twitch chat.
Somebody said it earlier.
He built up such a thing.
Somebody asked the fun fact of him, and I was like, I don't know if he would know one, so I skipped that one, but I guess not.
Not too much. The biggest one is he used to do these crazy events that I still see clips up from time to time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah,
He's
I don't
been
know.
Smoking since he was 12.
Probably.
Maybe,
he does sound like he's gonna sound like the old grandpa, you know? Hey kid, come here. he's gonna say that. Yo kid, come over here.
Hey, come over here.
Let me tell you a story.
To show you. I
got
got
some
some
pennies Yella.
To show you. They're in my back pocket. Why don't you reach in and grab them?
Back on Yella, we used to do 25v25. I was the biggest Twitch streamer in the Star Citizen community.
When he was on Twitch, how many viewers did he like? Do you guys know like how many viewers he would average? I'm curious because I never got to watch him on Twitch.
Oh, don't make me tell this story. Don't make me do it.
It
was like 900.
Really? Wow.
But
So
they
this is
weren't.
like,
I don't think that they were legitimate.
oh, uh-oh. Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
So
Got it.
he's in an org, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of these orgs would do at the time would guarantee you viewership. So do you remember the new? It still happens on Twitch. Do you know the New World meme where the Fextralite or whatever, that channel that just had 30k viewers and nobody
right. Yeah,
and everyone's like,
that.
what? You know, this guy doesn't. He came out of nowhere. He came out of nowhere because he was on an org that had a like a website and things like that, and they would embed the stream in the website, and that's what. So I don't think a majority. I think he averaged what your average top Star Citizen streamer would do. He was the biggest Star Citizen streamer. Undoubtedly, he did. Like, I don't want to take any of his achievements away, but I don't think his average viewership was real. And I've posted videos. I posted the video that tells, like, actually how it works and why that's what I think is what it was. And the day he went to Facebook Gaming was the day that Twitch announced that was no longer going to be possible, and now that there's a workaround as well. So it's like all the pieces kind of fell into place.
Yeah,
but
I hear you.
yeah,
You know, if you guys ever want to,
I loved his stuff.
His
community was toxic towards everyone else,
a little bit,
unfortunately. Yeah,
that's too bad.
Yeah.
If you guys ever want to find out if somebody is, or like a really good key if somebody's like view botting on Twitch, I've learned this over months, like years now. If you look at their, and don't do this with Mike's stream because we don't want to find out, okay?
It's probably true.
If you look at the viewer list and you click on the viewer list names and you see a whole bunch of them that were made in like April 2019, April 2020, September, like October 2021, October 2020, like a whole bunch of them that all line up and aren't following the channel.
Yeah.
You start to kind of realize like, okay, there's like 300 people here and like 200 of them aren't following the channel, and they were all made within the last 2 years. Like, these are almost all new accounts.
How about
like,
this one?
That's how you know.
The dude would have 1,200 viewers and 100 names in chat. 200 names
that's
in
a
chat.
good one too.
That's a
good one too.
That was the Rexilla thing. That's what was happening.
Yo, somebody tattled on us to Aurelia. Can we ban her real quick?
Why?
I don't want to deal with it.
We never even talked about her.
Yeah.
Oh, who's talking about my sabers?
lightsabers.
Yeah, we just mentioned that you have too many lightsabers and you have a problem. So we're gonna have an intervention right now, and yeah, that's what's gonna happen. All right.
We've called your family, your immediate family. They're gonna be here in a minute.
You did not earn that dark saber in the proper way, so you need to give it back.
Why don't you come over here and have a seat, okay? we need to talk.
Ooh, fun
and if
fact.
you try to run, we'll call the police.
Captain Richard. Somebody mentioned Captain Richard in chat. Do you have fun
Captain
facts?
Richard is actually Billy Mays' cousin. And Anarchix's he's Anarchix's stepdad.
When we went to Germany for Gamescom, Captain Richard spoke decent enough German to pass and get us through some situations. Like what we, like not like we weren't in any dangerous situations or anything, but like
I could see him being
like
that
at a
guy
restaurant
you take
and
on
stuff.
vacation. Yeah, like
It
I
was a
could
good
see him
time.
being that guy you take with you to like, you know, Siberia, Russia, something, and he just like talks you out of a tight situation.
He would
like,
know
you know,
somebody.
Some Russian comes up to you like, papers, please, and he'd be like, you know, nepta sisi slap the kroshka or something, you know, whatever.
Do you speak Russian?
No, not at all. That's the one phrase that I sort of know, and
is it from the game Papers, Please?
No, that'd be funny though. Glory to Aristotska.
Yeah.
No, I had a guy who was, I can't remember, it was Ukrainian, Russian, whatever, in college, and he taught us how to say a few not quite so savory things in Russian, and that's the one phrase that I sort of remember, but I think I still don't say it right. But
I thought it was just Rush
means
B,
like baby or something.
Rush B. That's it.
Rush B.
Rush B. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know.
Sukabliat. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. It's a Counter-Strike meme. Like, I guess all the Russians Rush B. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I don't know. So, I would say, I would ask you, put you on the spot a little bit here. How do you think Star Citizen is going to end up being this year? How do you think it's going to end up going? Do you think
That's such a tough one.
Do you think
Predictions?
Yeah, predictions are tough. That's why I'm putting you on the spot. Do you think the cargo refactor will help out piracy? Do you think
I'm
we'll
gonna be
see
sad here.
pyro?
I'm gonna be sad here, and I think we get pyro, and we might get a main menu, like when you load into the game, where it says, do you want to load into the Stanton system or the pyro system at first? And I think it's going to be that way a while. I hope so. I hope beyond that, and I hope for cargo refactor, and I hope for that. I don't know if I see cargo refactor and jump gates between the two systems in 2022.
Yeah, I just don't see the jump gate thing happening. I hope the cargo refactor is really good.
Yeah, me too. I really hope so. I mean, things like salvage might be relying on cargo refactor because like when you salvage like a power plant, you're gonna have to put it somewhere, and it's gonna have to be maybe seen as cargo in your ship or something. I don't know.
Oh my god, that would be one of the best. Like that would be one of the coolest things I think is to actually have to logistically instead of you like having like they would have to like rework maybe how claiming ships work a little bit, but it'd be really cool if you had to buy the items at a certain location and deliver them to where you wanted them at your home location, right?
Like when you buy them, they get delivered there?
No, you would physically have to deliver them in a cargo ship.
I think that'd be great.
Actually. Or pay somebody to do it.
Right? Yeah, you can get on your like cutlass or whatever, your cutlass steel, and load up a bunch of like armor sets and then take them to like Grim Hex or whatever.
I do it with the mining attachments for mining.
Yeah, exactly.
You can only buy them in certain
I think it'd
places.
be really cool. Like, how cool would it be to like pick up a Helix mining laser head and like set it in your ship or whatever?
Yeah,
I think it'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, you have to do it for all the little like attachments, and as annoying as it was satisfying.
Yeah,
you know.
It would be really satisfying to like walk through your ship and see like the parts that you're taking places, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm fitting up my Gladius, which is at Grim Hex, and I've got my power plant that I got here, and I've got my, my shield generators here, and you can actually then go and like put them in, and it's just really cool stuff. So.
Yeah. We're having the imagined.
And if you guys ever want a trip, take your Gladius out and then hit the open all doors button, like open exterior button, and there's like 15 doors that open up. Like things start coming out of the inside of the ship. It's crazy.
It's a gold standard ship.
It is gold standard.
That's right. That's right.
Aside from exploding when you get out of it with a backpack on, but other than that,
it's gold standard.
Gold standard.
The thing that I think, if there ever is a Q&A, I mentioned this really early in the stream. If there ever is a Q&A about the cargo refactor, aside from the piracy implications of it that I think I'm really excited about, and I think I will definitely take part in, because after Jumptown, I've got the itch. The thing that I would ask in a Q&A is, are you with this refactor factoring in the ability to tie cargo to missions? So please deliver 600 SCU of this to here, and you'll get this reward, or deliver three SCU is like the big one for me, is like to make an Aurora have like be able to do something that they can be like they work their way up and are excited about, like 3 SCU of this really valuable gem or something, you know?
Yeah, I think cargo missions like Elite Dangerous, and I bring up Elite Dangerous a lot because they have a lot of really good ideas. And if you guys blindly hate Elite Dangerous, you're stupid. It's a really good game in its own right, and it has its own issues, but they had some amazing ideas in Elite Dangerous, and CIG should absolutely pull from a lot of those ideas.
What are some of those ideas?
Mining missions, like we need you to go out and we need you to find like because right now mining is we always look for Quantanium.
That's it.
And maybe Laranite, but always Quantanium is what we're looking for. And for a mission giver to be like, hey, I know it's not like high value stuff, but we'll pay you a lot to go find gold because we need it right now. And like that creates like a mental economy of like this station and this mission giver needs gold.
Yeah.
Right. And Elite Dangerous has this whole background sim thing where like a mission state for like, let's say that there's like a technological boom in a station. Or in a system, and they buy gold really well, and they give you missions to go mine gold and bring like 15 tons of gold back, and then they pay you like 1 million credits for your time and effort. And I think that could solve so many issues with like nobody ever mines titanium, gold, diamond, you know, whatever, hephaestonite, whatever it might be, because the only thing worth mining, or the only thing that's really worth mining is quantanium or maybe laranite or borate, you know?
It's just, I think it's only quantanium, because you would only mine, like, you go for the highest value thing, period. Because it's the only thing is money there. And then you tie in, like, the reputation systems that they have and rewards and all those things, and then it just gets better and better and better. Like, look, dude, I know, like, somebody said, but Quanta isn't hooked up yet.
Yeah.
True. And, like, those things, that's the idea behind that. But then you see things like the little journal updates, right? I don't know if you saw those and got excited. I definitely did. Like, think about all the possibilities and potential behind that. That is announced system wide. So the announcement of valuable thing is announced to not just the people who want to run the cargo, but the people who want to take it, but the people who just want to PvP and want to fight for no other reason other than to fight. There's it just
you create lightning rods.
Yeah. And Jumptown
like,
was that lightning rod, the only one that we had, but there's potential for so many others, right?
In Elite Dangerous, there's natural, like, not so much anymore, but there were these natural lightning rods early on of systems that had what were called hazardous resource extraction sites, and they were called pristine metallic rings. And the system that I help run an org in Elite Dangerous, and our home is Delcar, which is was one of the original like main hotspots for mining, and because it has pristine metallic rings, and you'd be able to find this stuff called painite, and there would be painite missions from neighboring systems, and it was the place that everybody went. So you would naturally have people trying to pirate other people, which was pretty rare in Elite Dangerous, in and around Delcar, because these nearby, they would look for these other systems that were in like technological booms or industrial booms, and they'd be like, oh, well, I know that people are going to be mining in Delcar for painite because these things are happening nearby and they're serving these missions. So they could even pirate people, take their painite, and then go sell that painite for their own missions. So like it's a mining mission that you completed via piracy, and that's just cool as hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think the journal update, you know, that little journal like commodity price update thing, that was like this close to being dynamic Jumptown without even needing to make Jumptown V2.0.
Exactly.
Like they could have just tweaked up the values, be like, you know, there's what was it, like alcohol? There was a certain like spirits or whatever it was.
Distilled spirits,
super valuable.
And a few others.
Yeah, super valuable from here to here, and that's it. You have 2 lightning rods where you're going to get great profits, but great risk because pirates are going to frequent that route too. And it's all, and it needs to change, and it changes like what, every 15, 20 minutes. That commodity price update thing, it's just so close.
Yeah. And like changing the game. That's the thing that makes me lose my mind about this game all the time, and have like I've devolved into the human being that I am now, is like there's so many elements of it so close. Bounty, like we talked about earlier, like bounty hunting a player. Like you kill them and you can't even loot their body, right? It's because they go to jail and you don't even get the satisfaction of them being in the pain that they may have lost like some cool armor that they like. It's like a meme, like other people feeling pain is sometimes in a video game other like your satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just want to cause pain to others. Maybe I'm a psychopath. I don't know. But that is a source of satisfaction to me in video games occasionally. I do enjoy PvPing. Not so much in Star Citizen, but when I did it to tend to cause pain to the people who we were at war with.
Yeah. Well, and assuming this works, like assuming it doesn't break anybody's like mobiGlas when they get out of prison, let's just assume that for a second.
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing to do would be to claim a bounty, like kill a player, whatever it might be, and be able to loot that player, which is, you should be able to do that anyway.
True.
And take their mobiGlas.
And it has their name.
Yeah, it has
like a dog tag in a Tarkov, right?
Yeah, like look at all these mobiGlasses of bounties that I've claimed. You know what I mean? And I think that'd be really cool, assuming that it doesn't, you know, break their character or something dumb like that. But even if you could take their helmet or just some souvenir, but like I've even resorted to, if I'm like hunting a player in FPS, like let's go to Security Post Korea, and I'll shoot them to down them, and like you can loot them then and take some of their stuff and then kill them and send them to prison. But a lot of times in between like you downing them and like running over to loot them, they'll just Alt F4.
They'll just backspace or Alt F4, yeah.
Which is like
what if you took it another
like
step?
If the game forces you to kill them, you know.
Sure. What if you took it another step where you took their mobiGlas and when you returned the mobiGlas to a security post, that is when your bounty is complete.
Yeah, I mean totally. That could be an interim thing for sure, rather than, you know, like a classic Mando speak, like I can bring you in warm or I can bring you in cold.
Exactly. So we can't do the warm part yet, so you just automatically have to do the cold, but it would be cool to have the piece to complete the mission instead of just auto-completing.
Like, look, I can bring Hurston Security or the UEE. I can bring them you, or I can bring them, and your sentence will be lower because you're alive, or your sentence will be longer because Klesher Rehabilitation had to clone and respawn you to serve your prison sentence.
Yeah.
And like, I can bring them you, or I can bring them your mobiGlas. You pick.
Yeah.
You know. And I think that would be kind of a very cool bounty hunting initiative. True. You know.
I wonder if they dropped the mobiGlas and just gave it to you, if you could still complete the mission, but they're out there alive, and then they would have to go get a new one. Like, see, this is the game design thing. Like, where it's like...
You'd get paid less. You'd get paid less, right? So, like, this is... and I was just going to say, this is exactly what we talked about earlier. We as Star Citizens, we just do this. Yep. But, so, like, let's say that somebody gave you their mobiGlas and was like, look, man, I'll give you my mobiGlas. I'll deal with it. I'll, you know, whatever it might be. And just don't kill me, right? Let me go free. And then you would say, like, look, I'm going to get 50,000 if I bring you in. I'm going to get 30,000 if I bring your mobiGlas in. So you pay me 20K or you pay me 25K, make it worth my time to let you live.
Yeah.
You know, because that would create this kind of gray area of bounty hunters, which is pretty, you know, in the bounty hunting, you know, sci-fi community, that's a pretty common thing.
So
it's a cool idea anyway.
One of the moments that I actually missed, I did not get to see this content from you or him, was when you and Burks were doing bounties together. How did that go? And like, what were you guys doing? So this is some of the, like, I've caught like a couple little glimpses of clips, but it was like VoIP was working. People, I think, were paying you to not take their bounties, and there was like some
streamer privilege.
Some cool elements there, it seemed like. But did it go as well as it looked like in a couple clips? Or
if you guys try duo bounty hunting in real life, it won't work. Right, it just won't work. Your VoIP won't work. I'm kidding. So we did get pretty lucky. I don't think that's going to be like it's not always going to work that way. But the one time we did it, we duo bounty hunted for like 6 or 7 hours together, and we were just having a blast. I think we claimed like 19 bounties.
That was the day that I missed, and I never went back and watched the VOD, and I wish I did, because it's probably gone.
It was Burks in a Mantis, and because I didn't have a Mantis, and he's really good in a Mantis. And I was in a Buccaneer, because the Buccaneer goes like 1,300 meters, so I can catch almost anybody, unless they're in a Herald, I guess.
And your ship and his ship needed to be able to go similar speeds.
Pretty fast, yeah. And the Mantis doesn't go as fast, but its like maneuverability is very good, and its boost is really good. Yeah. So it can keep up with almost anybody, and it has a range of 20 kilometers. So between a Mantis and a Buck, you have the Mantis, which has this snare range of 20 kilometers to keep somebody around. And then you have the Buccaneer, which can keep up with anybody and keep the pressure on. So we killed several Ares ships between the two of us. I mean, we killed at least one Constellation. We killed a lot of fighters. You know, we did some FPS stuff. Went into SPK. There was one time we went into SPK. Burks was in VoIP, and the guy was like, "I'm not going down without a fight." You know, I think that one was on Clip of the Day, and he actually downed Burks, but I was around the corner and downed the guy, killed the guy afterwards. So it was kind of cool to do the duo thing. And like you increase your survival, by a lot because there's two of you,
Yeah, for sure.
But and there were times we took on, 2-3 people in a group, so it kind of evened the odds a little bit too. But
what's the craziest bounty you've come across?
Oh, there's 2 of them I can think of. Probably the craziest ones were there was a Carrack full with like 3 bad guys. I think it was three or 4 people, and 3 of them had bounties, but I think they were all wanted.
Yeah.
And I was in a Vanguard and this is like 314 maybe. So I was in a Vanguard and I hovered above their ship. I jumped out, landed on the cargo bay, which wasn't open, and shot the door like with my custodian, right?
Yeah.
With my SMG, and opened it. So I get in the ship, and then it was just a murdering spree throughout the ship. After that, it killed all of them, and that was really good. I think it was 3. The other one was a glaive. I was in a glaive, and it was a hammerhead, a player hammerhead, and they were out at a, and I was just goofing off because we were able to use the glaive in 314 something, maybe I can't remember, 313, 314. They let us use the glaive for a little while, and I was flying the glaive, and I was like, well, let's go after this guy. They were out doing a claim jumper mission in a hammerhead.
Oh my god!
And it was like 2-3 of them on the same hammerhead. I think it was like three of them. And I was like, well, let's see if these blades work, because I'm not gonna kill a hammerhead.
Okay.
So I just terminal velocity'd right into the side of the hammerhead, cut the hammerhead in half, lost one or both of my glaive wings, but survived.
Yeah.
Because the glaive has melee weapons, so I used it as a melee weapon.
All right. Somebody asked in chat, ask about the Banu on cruise control, but
oh, that's a good one. That is a really good one.
Remind me about the bounty, the Banu bounty, when you're done with this story, because that was the craziest one I've seen you do.
You're right. That probably is. I kind of forgot about that.
You know the one I'm talking about, right?
That was the end of this one. It was 3 guys. I think it was 3 guys on a hammerhead, and I got all 3 of them with the glaive ram.
Oh, okay.
I did have a guy who stole. I was in my band. This isn't that story. This guy stole an F8 Lightning like right in front of me.
This is the one I'm talking about. Yes.
Oh, this is the one you're talking about?
Yes,
oh.
This is so funny, dude. I think this is the one.
So I get out of my Banu because I like to, snipe people in AVA. I think that's really cool. Yeah. And he's like EVAing towards an F8 Lightning. He's going to steal it. So I'm like, I hit him once, and he gets around behind the F8. So I EVA like right next to the F8 just as he gets in and flies off. Follow him all the way across the system. Eventually, I did kill him. Way on the Crusader side in the F8 Lightning, which was kind of cool.
Oh, never mind. This is not the one I'm thinking.
This is not the one you're thinking of, but this is more recent. So that was a cool one.
Hold on. Let me remind you of this one.
Control. Oh, fuck.
Let me remind you of this one.
Okay.
Guy, you take his bounty, you're attacking him. He ejects immediately just before you kill him, and then the hilarity ensued. It was like last week.
Oh, this is Cosmonito.
This was the funniest shit I've ever seen, dude. This was so funny.
Yeah, that's a good one too. There's one where there's a Banu on cruise control. It was like a 2.5 hour fucking thing.
Oh, because they're super fast, right?
Cosmo was in a Warlock, an Avenger Warlock, and he was out at Kovalek Shipping Hub. So I take his bounty, and I know him, but I told him previous, I was like, if I see your bounty, like, is it okay if I come after you? Like, is that cool? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. So it was natural. So I go after him, and I deal with the Warlock pretty quick because it's an Avenger versus a Banu, and that goes well for the Banu usually. And then he's in EVA because he ejects like right at the last second, and I'm like, what is he doing? He has a railgun with like 10 magazines loaded up, and then an FS9, and he's firing railgun shots at me, and I'm like, well, I'd love to stop my ship and like.
But he can't.
And, but I can't because as soon as I stop my ship, he's gonna land a couple of railgun shots and take me out.
Yep.
So I have to shoot him. And so like 5 minutes go by of me just every once in a while, like a shot hits him, and he keeps
trying to aim with the ship for this little pixel-sized target of a person 500 meters away. It was one of the funniest things I've ever watched. It was so good.
Eventually I downed him, but. I mean, he damaged my ship, and he ran out of railgun ammo and started to shoot me with his FS9.
Yep.
And he actually damaged my cockpit on my Banu with the FS9 and made it like turn red because it's ballistics, right?
Yeah.
So it actually does damage to the ship, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, that was really fun, and we were just dying laughing about it after the fact, me and him. And I think he ended up, he ended up paying me, I think.
Yeah.
a little bit, and then I took him back to Grim or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, you guys were hanging out after. It was hilarious.
Yeah, he was being a bit of a bro. So.
The whole like event was crazy. It was only like a week ago, so I don't.
Yeah.
Not even maybe.
He made a video. He actually made a video of it.
If you have it, link
if he
it.
Sent it to me or let me see.
If at the very least.
Yeah, here we go.
If you find it later, okay, you have it. Never mind. I was gonna say find it later, and I'll put it in the YouTube.
If you guys want to see it, it's pretty funny.
It is so funny. I'm gonna hold on to this. It'll probably pop over you for a second.
He does a lot of his video. He does some YouTube videos. He does a lot of his videos with like the Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I just heard it.
Yeah. So that's pretty funny. Yeah. So the Banu and cruise control thing. I picked up a guy who I took his bounty, went to an 890 jump mission. I get there, and he was invisible to me because there was some, desync issues.
Yeah.
So I was in VoIP with him. He could hear me, and I was like, "Look, man, I can't see you. I don't know if you can see me, but I'll be willing to help you out, right? Because you probably got this accidentally. I get it, So he EVAs out with me, gets in my Banu. As soon as he hits my Banu and gets into a new object container, I can see him again.
Okay.
So there's a little part of it's like I could just murk him right now, but I'll be nice. So we're on our way back to Crusader from Microtech, and I pulled the ship out of Quantum, and because he's acting weird. He's like, "How close are we? Are we almost there?" Asking some weird stuff.
Okay.
And because I was going to take him back to Grim, just to be nice. And I get out of my pilot seat, but I accidentally left the cruise control on my ship. So I'm cruising at like 1,200 meters a second in normal space. And I'm talking with him in the back of the band, and I'm like, "Look, dude, I need," and I don't know why, but there's this meme about us taking people's pants. Or like at least their leg armor, which is pretty funny. I'm
gonna need your pants.
And as a joke, I was like, "Well, I need you to drop your weapons, or like put them in the ship inventory, or like put them away, right, just in case." And I was like, "And I'm gonna need you to take off your pants. Like I'm gonna need you to take off your leg armor, or whatever." And he was weirded out by it. He started acting really weird.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think what he was planning on doing, to be honest with you, the way he was acting, I think he was planning to kill me as we got close to Grim Hex.
Yeah.
And then take my Banu. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I did the right thing. So I had an S71 out, which is a bad idea. I should have had the Custodian out. And I was pointed it right at his head, and he had heavy armor on. And he pulls out his gun, and because of the FPS lag that I talked about earlier, we both start shooting each other. And so we both down each other in the Banu, and he's got like an hour and a half to survive. I've got like an hour to survive. So we're just sitting there chatting with each other via VoIP in my Banu going 1,200 meters a second in the middle of space, like 3 million kilometers from Crusader. So now it's a thing.
And nobody was able to rescue you because you're moving, and yeah.
Well, I ended up backspacing, and I told him before I backspaced, and I'm not sure if this is the case. I was like, "Look, man, if you backspace, you go to prison, and if you log out, the next time you log back in, you go to prison." I don't know if that's true, but I bluffed hard. Okay. So I respawned at Grim. I picked up, I think, an Avenger Warlock. Because I was like, well, if I EMP the ship or if I distort the ship, maybe it'll slow down.
True. Okay.
So we're working on this Banu forever. We eventually get it to slow down to like 250. And there was this whole interstellar docking thing where I'm trying to like slow it down by running into it because we had the ship completely shut down.
Yeah, it's just still moving.
Yeah, we couldn't slow it down because it was just stuck at the speed. And eventually I blew up so many times with desync ramming and stuff. It was like literally 2 hours of this stuff. And then somebody, I think it was Versace Rick, was trying to get close to it and collided with it and blew it up. But we eventually found the wreckage, and he dropped his gun. So I got to keep his gun as a trophy.
Nice.
And he did go to Klesher. In the end, he did go to prison. So
that's hilarious. Oh my god. Yeah, so like
it was a crazy thing. I could have done so much more with my time than what I did that night.
True. That's like one of the things that I definitely wanted to touch on with you as much as possible today was like there are abilities to have these moments. It's just unfortunate that they're a little bit few and far between, and bounty hunting is like one of the ways for those to happen. And
right.
Again, like there are some like the old Alt F4 problem and things like that, and it's the whole "we're so close" meme, and it's true. It'll never be perfect. There's going to be bugs, or it's going to be rough for a long time. But there are things that can be done to really step up what we currently have and make really awesome. And, yeah.
Well, it's like that video we saw of like the Kraken, the Kraken or the Drake trailer, where like the guy's
Drake
mining and he's
Leviathan?
sipping on his coffee. Well, not the Leviathan one, but the one where the guy's sipping on his coffee, and then like the pirates come up and they're like, your money, your life. It'd be cool if as you're mining, there were moments like that, But the problem is that the prospector blows up if you fart in its general direction.
Yeah.
Things like that kind of make it really difficult to have moments like that doing stuff that isn't combat.
Yeah.
As often. There's some really good moments with trade. Was it you? No.
Doubt it.
Was it you that somebody got pirated? I think it was by Mongrel Squad.
Oh, it was me. Yeah. I was mining though. I was rock mining.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It was on Ariel. Is that the one you're thinking of?
I think so. There's been a couple of times where there's like videos of hits and stuff.
Yeah.
I think Jack. I can't remember his name. Jack something.
Oh, Jack Axton.
Jack
or
Axton
Jack Assery.
was a
There's
video that I saw.
Two Jacks that I'm familiar with.
Yeah. So there's like trade has the ability sometimes to do that. I think with different like Quantanium hotspots, maybe like mining has some opportunities for that. But even so, like if you're in a trade ship and like a bunch of tool up pirates come by, even if you had like a Vanguard as an escort, you got
no shot.
You don't have much of a shot right now. So hopefully there's some future, things that get developed, maybe armor or something like that could help those situations last longer. Because if like two people start shooting at your prospector, just don't even hit the boost button. Just die.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just stand there, and they get mad when like I don't fight back sometimes, and I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, what, are you kidding me? But in that case, I was in an ROC, and so they were like, I had a couple other people with me, and they were fighting above the ground a little bit. So I like realized what was happening, and I'm like, all right, stream snipers again. But turned out it was actually them, and I was like, oh crap, cool. Right. I get out, and I had a railgun with me. I actually came prepared that day. And great. I think I blew up 2 of their ships. And they didn't know what was going on because there was like, they couldn't see the round, and their ship was just taking damage. And they were like, I'm bugged. And it was, I think that's how it went. But then we got into FPS, and there was like massive desync, and I ran out of ammo, and I was this close to taking out enough of them to probably be able to like say like I survived the Mongrel Squad hit, but I didn't, unfortunately. They got me in the end.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like there's times where there's a video by it's the Escape. I don't know if you guys see, that's like a fairly viral Star Citizen video of
yes,
I think it's Lawman.
The prison escape. Yeah,
the prison escape one. And there's a moment where you can tell it's a little bit scripted, but that's fine because they're making a video. Where they're running from like their Ursa into this guy's Carrack who's picking them up, and they're like, there's shots landing all around them and stuff. But like, if you guys saw that, like we were talking about with Cosmonito, where I was trying to shoot him from 200-300 meters away.
Yeah.
And I could barely hit the guy because he was this little tiny, target. There's a benefit to being that small. You can run around on the surface of the ground and even take a couple of laser shots from a ship and survive and get on a ship, just like in that video with the Carrack. That was one of the, you could tell it was scripted, but it was still relatively realistic. Yeah. Because running around on the ground, like, a lot of times you do die if somebody's shooting at you with a ship, but I could see that happening, and it's you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know?
Yeah, it's true. I don't know what about what you just said made me think of refueling, but it was one of the things that we wanted to talk about today. Excuse me. Did you have a thing in mind in particular? Because you're actually the one that mentioned it about refueling, and I have a really hard time with being like, I don't quite get the point of it. It seems like it's definitely something that's like gearing up for pyro and not really for what we have now. But I know that like PvP and ship combat players do find themselves refueling a lot, but I just look at them like the process seems way simpler to just do it at a station. So why would I do it with a refinery or a Starfare?
Yeah, I mean the only thing I can think of is if you want a fast quantum drive.
Maybe it really eats.
It eats a lot of fuel. Like so, the Banu is one of the reasons why I like the Banu so much. it has so much quantum fuel that you can put like the fastest quantum drive on it and still like easily make it across the system, and and not have to refuel.
Yeah.
So in the Pyro system, and even in Stanton, what it'll do maybe is give us more options of quantum drives for like medium size and small size ships, where I can be like, okay, so instead of taking the Atlas drive, which is what everybody uses for most of their fighters,
Sure.
I can fit like a beacon or something, or an EOS or something faster, whatever's faster. And then I can jump really quickly from like Crusader to Hurston one time, but then I'm going to need to refuel, or I can jump like to some guy who's doing like an illegal claim jumper mission, and he's wanted, right? So I can jump like to Mikkel 1 or to like Hurl 4, and like, yeah, I used a lot of my fuel, but like I can call in somebody for refueling, go get this guy's bounty, or whatever it might be. Now, granted, there are stations there, but you get what I'm saying. Pyro, I don't think will be like that. There'll be Lagrange points all over the place without stations. Yeah. So it might be something. And granted, again, Pyro, no comrades, lawless, whatever. But that concept, I think, still rings true. Where you might be able to get around a lot faster, and then while you're doing the thing you're doing at your location, you can call for refueling.
Sure.
And have somebody on their way to meet you, so you can get out, fast too. But
fair.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like, wow, I definitely see the benefit for lawless players, because you can really only do this stuff at Grimhex. So now you can bring it with you, and that's good.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But the idea of I just look at it as like, all right, man, like we're not gonna do tier 0 stuff anymore. If you're gonna bring this in, how is it gonna benefit all? And what I've seen so far, I was like, man, that UI looked amazing. I could see that benefiting us all. Like, there's definitely some where you can expand that out into many other aspects of the game. The way they did that, the payment system, all that stuff, very cool. That's I'm super hyped about, is because the potential of it throughout the rest of the game. But I was like, damn, I just don't see it. I don't see myself using it, because I don't see myself outside of the Stanton system for another year. Unfortunately, it's just that's like where I'm setting my expectations. So then I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it, and this is going to give you time to get it really, really solid and nailed down before then. It makes sense from a priority standpoint. But I'm like, is there? I'm just, maybe I'm bad or something. But I was like, how can we do more? How can you give me more? How can you make it better? Is it possible? Is the like first thing that comes to my mind when it comes to those things. And I think that's unreasonable, probably.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like we get stuck in this like they're putting something in, and then we have these grandiose plans of like, how can we make this the most epic shit ever? Like how could they make this the most
they
epic
do
thing?
Too.
And then
but
and they do
they're
too.
delivering what's possible.
And it makes it in the game in a what's possible state. Yeah. And then we have these like ideas in our head, and those ideas don't happen, so we have this natural like disappointment that comes along with it,
Yeah. Like I was definitely having that natural disappointment, but man, did I have the opposite feeling for the UI and the little systems for that stuff. It was like, wow, okay, so you're paying for what you get, but you're only paying for the time that you're taking it. It was like actual player-to-player trade. You're setting prices for things. That's something that's really special.
That's really cool. And I think that might be, and this is like maybe Banu Merchantman hype, maybe a little bit, because like setting prices for a thing in your own UI that's Banu Merchantman.
Yeah, for sure.
So one thing that I mentioned this a lot, but one thing that Star Citizen does a lot of times is they'll make something, and then they'll use that tech to scale it to a different thing, Sure. So like you'll see one UI and you'll understand kind of how it works and how it functions, and then they'll use that UI or that mechanic on something else.
Like the docking, right?
Docking, the tractor beam thing. So like the Grey Cat Rock had the first tractor beam, and it was a very simple tractor beam, but they used it to test concept and then to implement it into the hand tractor beam, which is one of the best things in Star Citizen. That thing works so well. So they do that stuff a lot, and it's really cool to see that happen, and then to see a UI that lets you set prices on stuff. You know, like if you set a price on something. Yeah, exactly. You could buy all the coffee, and then you could just price gouge in Pyro, sell all that coffee for an increased rate from your Banu Merchantman or something, So
somebody said,
hopefully that's Banu Merchantman. That's
yeah.
Banu Merchantman tech.
Somebody said, what if they put all the Quantanium out of Stanton and put it in Pyro? I don't think that matters as much as what if they actually deliver refuel with the ship-based refinery stuff. That's when I think it would be like, okay, that's cool, but it's probably going to be refueling first, then we make the Starfarer the refining ship, and we tie the whole thing together. And that's when... That'll be one of the first times since rock mining where two separate gameplay loops can interact with each other. Like rock mining, when you were able to drop the box and somebody else can go and sell it in a cargo ship, was one of the most epic and like great moments that I've had in this game. And then the moment that you can go mining ship to cargo ship, or mining ship to refinery ship to create something and then sell it to another person. Holy, like that's like
cool.
That is the beginning of the dream for me.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it goes with anything too, because I mean, I actually talked with somebody. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Kvotha, rings a bell. I think Kvotha might be in chat. But I can't remember if it was Kvotha or not. But they were like, we were talking about like, okay, what about like going to Mikkel 1 with like 100 P4ARs or like good weapons like custodians, whatever the weapons that people would like to use, and a bunch of ammo, bring it all there, and they'd be like, hey guys, instead of buying your weapons here, I will sell them to you for whatever price, stuff that you looted, right? So you could loot a whole bunch of like weapons and armor and gear and then take it somewhere. I mean, you could do that in game now. It's a weird transaction, but the idea that you can take things, put them in a ship, and then take them to Pyro or take them to a remote location in Stanton even, and sell them for an event. Even being able to go to a jump town at Calliope, which is pretty far out of the way, and then being like an arms dealer for people at Jump Town. I think that's kind of cool too, like the idea of that.
For sure.
Because like if you were at Jump Town and you needed a P4AR or an FS9 or something,
or a
and
multi-tool
you were like,
attachment, right?
I got like a CS1. I can't necessarily just go wherever I want. It's going to take me a lot of time. And then some guy in global chat was like, hey, touch base with me if you guys need some weapons and armor. I'm stationed somewhere on Calliope, right? Yep. He's at like the other side of the planet. All you got to do is like fly around to me, give me 25K, I'll get you all set up. You know what I mean? And I think people would take that in the middle of a Jump Town event.
Of course.
I think some people would take that, 25K to get like a full set of gear and weapons and armor. That'd be kind of cool.
Absolutely. To not have to, because you have to bounce around to two, you don't have everything in one place in most of the Jump Town locations, I don't think. Microtech L1 has armor and weapons, but I don't know if the other L1s do.
Yeah, a lot of them don't. In fact, I think most of the I know that the like Port Tressler, Everest Harbor, and Bajini Point, I don't think maybe Bajini does, but I don't think they sell weapons and armor for the most part. So there's
like Galathier Games.
They make it difficult.
I want to run multi-tool tractor beams at Grimhex during Jump Town. Like that is like the most important thing to have there, because they're not available anywhere except for I think Crusader.
I was on one server for Jump Town where there was some guy that was like, I don't know if he was role-playing as Santa Claus or what, but he was like at Grim Hex and he was just dropping stuff. Like he was dropping like multi-tool attachments and stuff, just like peppering them, or like little presents all over the station, which is pretty funny. Yeah.
It's crazy. You're basically describing the trading from EverQuest and it was horrible. Okay. Just trading with players? What? Like I don't... How is like players interacting with each other horrible? I have no idea. Why did I just read Twitch chat during a podcast? That's why I never do. But yeah, I don't know, Zero. We're coming up on 2 hours, so that's usually when I would start considering cutting it off. But I'm not enjoying myself, so I don't know. I'm trying to think. Are you looking forward to Jump Town? Do you have any new and interesting plans maybe to go about it? Because I know you and Burks did something really cool with Xenothreat. If you want to touch on that.
We did an opposed Xenothreat. So Xenothreat is a PvE mission, and red players can go there to mess it up. That's pretty much what what Xenothreat is, right?
Yeah.
and it's nothing wrong with that because it was the first big dynamic thing. It's basically a PvE event where your challenge is fighting, PvE for the most part. There's not a whole lot that Reds get out of it aside from blowing people up, which is fine, whatever. But like the idea behind like Ninetales is more of an opposed event. Jumptown is more of a naturally opposed event, that kind of stuff. But for Xenothreat, we said, okay, let's take 35 people or 30 people, and let's split into two teams. One person, we have a blue team which has like, let's say 20 people, which we had I think 19, and then a red team which has like 9 people, because it's a lot easier for the red team to disrupt stuff, and the blue team has more to do. So they were like, let's make the blue team quite a bit bigger, which worked out pretty good. And then we said, well, then we'll swap teams. And we never got to do that because it ended up taking so long with what we were doing. But we're like, we'll swap teams and we'll compare scores of the two teams, and then like see whose team wins. Of like, this is how many boxes we delivered or how many supplies we got delivered before that 1 hour time is up. But what we ended up doing is we ended up just killing each other a lot. Big ships, multi-crew ships. I mean, it was like Redeemers, Hammerheads. I flew an A2, and by the stock A2, and it was stock. The stock A2, fully crewed with all those turrets, will destroy a crewed Hammerhead. Not even kidding. We wrecked that thing.
Yikes.
It's because its boost is so strong, and it can face almost all of its turrets straight forward at the same time. And it's like size 5s and size 6 turrets on the A2, and it's like, I don't know, like 8 turrets, 8 guns. And we took down its front shield in like, I don't know, 6-7 seconds of continued fire. So
Holy
like
crap.
These big giant ship battles, we just had an absolute blast doing that stuff. It was really cool. And
Nice.
I think it made it more dynamic, even though it was kind of set up,
Yeah, sure.
But so
That's
the goal
cool.
wasn't really to finish the mission or not finish the mission, which we came really close. But it was just to have fun. So it was a really cool event. I don't know about Jumptown though. Jumptown is a tough thing.
I think I'm just gonna do the ship stealing again. It's
fun.
Yeah,
it is fun, and I think it teaches people a little something about Jumptown. Be careful.
Yeah.
My favorite thing from Jumptown, I think one of my favorite moments was there was a guy with a Nomad, and he was running boxes in kind of a conga line server, as it were. And he would grab a box and he would put it in his Nomad, and he would grab another box and run it out to his Nomad. And it was just adorable, right? Like it was a little puppy playing with a stick, And I'm sitting there on top of Jumptown with a tractor beam in range of his Nomad. And after like 3-4 boxes, every box that he brings out, puts on his Nomad. As he's running back to the station, I just yoink it with my tractor beam and bring it up to the top and set it next to me. And so he comes back out, and because players are just playing the game, he was kind of on autopilot. He would just not even think twice. He'd be like,
where did it go?
The box just disappeared or whatever. So I did that like 3 or 4 times before somebody else attacked Jumptown. But it was just one of those cute little moments that you can interact with Jumptown in so many goofy ways,
I'm trying to find the emote. I have an emote now for Jumptown. It's like PP Conga or something. I can't figure out what it is. But I found a conga line emote. Can you guys type it if you have it? I can't find it. I can't auto tab it from this.
Is it Better Twitch TV?
It's a Frank. It's
FFC.
I think I have it in FFZ, or I found it. Yeah, it's PP Conga. There it is.
Oh. What's that other? There's 3 of them now. There's Frankerface, there's Better Twitch TV, and there's
this one is 7 TV. That's the one you need.
7 TV. That's the
7
one.
TV.
Yeah.
It's a third-party thing, and it's basically there's no rules, so there's some ridiculous shit on there. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Because I think Twitch got to Better Twitch TV and was like, yeah, no more Pog emotes and like no more like things like that, and people were like, nah, man, we're not having that.
Yeah.
So they want their freedoms of being able to make like doc memes like that one, and that you can't get rid of. So that's what's there, and that's where I found PP Conga. I'll look for it in the regular one so more people can have it, but it's just 2 little frogs.
I'll have to check out 7 TV. Yeah, that's interesting.
It works with Franker faces, so you don't need to like do anything with it. You can just like enable it through Franker faces.
Enable 7 TV. Oh, through FFZ. Okay, got it.
Through
that's
FFZ
cool.
You can enable 7 TV. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's just what I'm gonna do. I think I might try and do a few things with the org. I don't think I've had more fun in Star Citizen I've never done what we did, where we got together as a bunch of streamers that don't normally group up together because we're all on crazy different times, and just play together like that. Most you usually like get together with one or get together with another, and it's usually people around your time. Like we just all from all around the world, all different times, just got together and played, and that was
for sure.
That was a lot of fun, and I think this, like, I guess the stealing the ship way is the best way, but I don't know. I would love to like take and hold down a jump town for a while with a group. I would like to try and do that.
Money. It was good money, and I think it like that builds kind of camaraderie with the people you're with, because if you get people and you explain like before, like what we're gonna do is we're gonna group up. There's gonna be like 7, 8 of us. We are gonna take Jump Town by force, and then we're gonna hold it. So bear in mind, it might be a little boring. Yeah. But then again, if you get all the people that play Farm Sim with you or Eco with you, they're used to that, so they'll love it. You know, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And we did that a couple times where we would say like, all right, we're gonna take Jump Town, and then we're gonna hold it for like 1 hour. Yeah. And we're gonna get all the boxes out in that 1 hour that we can. And then we're going to get our profit from that server, and then we're all going to leave to a different server to let that server kind of, you know, because you don't want to just lock it down the entire time, and you know, it gets super boring and there's not as much fighting. And then you kind of find the servers where there's another group of people with like 5 or 6 people that come in, and you have to fight them off, and you get good combat that way. That's kind of the classic Jump Town experience. Yeah. I think, and we had a lot of fun doing that, but I wouldn't want to do that every time. But it's definitely a good event to do, where it's like, I even did signups one time. I said, there's 12 spots, first 12 people, that's our party, 6 p.m. Central, you know, whatever time it is. Yeah. And we're going to go take over a Jump Town. And these 12 people are the only 12 people that are going to get paid for our, like, you know, 3 or 4 hour time frame or whatever we do.
Sure.
So yeah, that was really fun. I would recommend that if you get people that are interested, for sure.
Sure. I haven't really done it yet, and I think it would be nice to try, for sure.
Hey, you want to hear a funny story about Burks?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I was talking with Burks, and I was like, yo, I think Mike wants to, like, you know, join in together and do Jump Town, right? Sometime. And I don't know, you know, what the context was, but beyond that, but and Burks was like, I don't know, I don't know SaltEMike that well. Like, I don't know Mike particularly well, you know, yet. Yeah. And I was like, I hope, he said something about it, like, I hope he's not mad at me over the fight or flight thing. I was like, he's not mad at you over the fight or flight thing.
Dude, that was like the best moment ever. What do you mean? I wasn't expecting him to beat me. Or I was expecting him to beat me, so it wasn't like...
So I think then I said, like, yeah, you should get in touch with him. I don't know if he ever DM'd you about that.
He did,
or DM'd you. Yeah.
He reached out.
And I think he might have gotten into... I think he might have anyway. I don't know if it was my conversation about that. I thought that was a funny moment where I was like, it's interesting how... before this Jump Town event, there were so many, not just content creators, but people that didn't know each other. Yep. And now we do, like, much better. You know, we spent hours and hours and hours together, like flying and fighting and goofing off together, you know? Yeah. Like,
and you
I found myself getting a lot closer with a lot of people.
True. And you immediately, because of the situation that you're in, where communication is kind of important, you immediately like have to adjust and work together, and or it's not going to work. So you immediately know like who it's going to work with and who it's not going to work with. Yeah. And for the most part, it works with all of us, and that is a very pleasant surprise, because you wouldn't think that it would be, because streamers tend to be like egos. That's what people think of them, right? Egos. It's all about that, you know. And it just wasn't with any of us. It was all about having a good time.
Yeah, and having fun and hopefully putting on a good show. Yeah. You know, we had a really good moment at a Jump Town. It just reminded me of that, where we were holding a Jump Town for a while, and I think there was like I don't remember if it was like Ninetales had happened, and then there was no, I don't remember, but so we were holding a Jump Town for a while, and Shadow Moses was on the server. They didn't get on the server because of us or anything like that. It was just, we were 2 big groups, so servers kind of land big groups together. And so they came to Jump Town, and they wiped most of our air cover, right? But we had like 2 or 3 people inside the facility, and they wanted to get in the facility, and actually they wanted to do Jump Town, right? Yep. So they breached the facility, and we had this champion. I mentioned his name earlier, Monocle Man. And some of you guys might know Monocle Man, but he held that facility, and he ended up getting called by Shadow Moses. He was like, somebody from Shadow Moses in the global chat was like, "Hey, GG's guys, and tell fucking John Wick he can go fuck himself." And
he held it down.
Took it as the number one. Yeah, he had like an FS9 and like a million med pens or something inside the facility. And every time that the door would open, he would just and cut them all down.
Dude, that's so funny.
It was so good. And they tried like 4 or 5 times to breach him. And I don't think they might have gotten him eventually. And so the other person that was in there, I was like, I think I mentioned it at one. I don't know if they ended up doing it, but I was like, hey, you guys should keep stacking up the drugs inside. So if they do get you, they get like a reward for it, you know?
Yeah.
That there's like a bunch of drugs stacked up for them to grab.
Yeah, instead of them having to go through the process of waiting 30 seconds for each one.
I'm hearing that they never got them, and they got some of the boxes out afterwards. So GG guys.
Nice, that's awesome.
I didn't remember what happened at the end of it, so
that's really funny. But yeah, I mean, man, such a simple event, but so much enjoyment in so many different ways.
Yeah, it was ripe with moments like that, to be honest with you. I mean, there's better that, and it could be even better. You know, if Jumptown had 2 entrances and like a drop-in entrance at the top or something with like one of those O2 shields, you know, those blue shields that you had to protect 3 entrances. Now it's like breaching is a lot easier. It's a lot easier because we had a time where we held the airspace for like an hour and a half, and we had our guys trying to breach, and it was just like 2 guys inside with like grenade launchers and FS9, and it's impenetrable with the one entrance. Because as soon as they see the airlock cycling, they just go boop, 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 and kill everybody in the airlock. And there's just no way that you can breach unless you get super lucky, which probably isn't going to happen. And even if they downed one of the guys inside, there was a 3rd guy inside with like a med gun. Get him back up. So it was there's definitely some improvements that could be made. But even with those improvements, it was just this lightning rod for awesome gameplay content, you know?
Hell yeah. And it was the most simple of all of them. And it had the most, because we are, no matter what, the interaction between player and player is always going to be better because it's always can't think of the word, but I'll say unscripted, right? Like there's no, you don't know what to expect, so it's always going to be different. It's unique, maybe is the right word. Is every single Jumptown was a little bit different from the others. I think still my favorite moment was one guy had you mentioned it before, it's the consolidated Outland ship, the pickup truck. I can't think of the name right now.
The freaking Nomad. The
Nomad, yeah, the premium starter. How can I forget?
Yeah.
He had a whole back of his ship filled with boxes. And the dude goes inside, and me and Noodle just yoink all of them off the ship. He goes, he pops in it. He's getting ready to leave, and he gets up and he looks in there. I'll stand a little farther so you can see, and he just like looked around, and just like looked at, and like without having any ability to see the guy's emotions, you just know that he was so upset. Like, where did they go? All of my money is gone. And he was just like, I've been here for 4 hours. It's just like, oh, man. Noodle was like, I feel really bad. And I'm like, no, don't feel bad. That's what this is about.
I think I saw that Noodle clip, yeah. The one downside to that is probably that he might have been standing there going, man, what's the game bug that killed all my drugs? You know, like just something, you know, and there's a little bit of that. Like, you hope that the game gets to a place where that happens and the guy goes, somebody stole my shit. 100%, you know, and then he there's a reaction, you know, or something like that. So
one of the other things that I really enjoyed was like trying to figure out the most like effective way of doing things, and like started to watch other people. Like one group had a ship way out in the distance to avoid A2s, so the out of the range of an A2, and they would drive in an Ursa rover, fill it up, and then drive back. So then we took it to the next level, and we're like, all right, well, the Ursa rover thing is like you're RPing because it's not really like the most effective thing to use. It's like, so we went, okay, we'll take the Pisces, but we'll leave a Redeemer who was like, obviously the Redeemer is like this really, really tanky ship. So if something happens, we can maybe survive it. So we had a Redeemer way out in the distance, and we were driving Pisces back and forth. We'd fill them up with like 10 boxes, bring it over to the Redeemer,
Nice.
fill it up, and then we were going back and forth that way, and we were conga lining, but then waiting for the moment to also capitalize on other people and then leave. And it was a good time. That was like one of the more fun times I've had as well. Was trying to think of those ways. Yo,
I always thought it was funny when I was watching. I can't remember who I was watching, but
I hate that guy.
The real ghost of Jumptown.
Yeah.
So I always thought the funniest moments was when I was watching somebody, like, I don't remember who I was watching, and I think it might have been Burks, and they were trying to like steal ships, right? So they'd get down there to a server, and there was a bunch of ships there, but none of them had any drugs in them.
Yeah.
And it was a conga line server, but there was no drugs pulled in the ships yet. So they had to wait for the ships to get filled before stealing them. So what they were doing is they just joined the conga line.
Yeah.
So, which I always thought that was really funny, because it's like, we're here to see all these ships, and then we become the thing that we're disrupting. And that was always just really funny to me.
I mean, that's what I've always done. I was like, you got to act natural, dude. Like when a cop rolls up next to you, you don't just light up a blunt or anything. You just put your hands to 10 and 3, or 10 and 2, and you just look forward. Don't even, just act natural.
Blend in.
Yeah, you gotta blend in.
Yeah,
exactly. So
that's funny. Oh, Jumptown is such a good event. I hope it keeps revolving. It'd be cool if they created like a long-term schedule where they were like, all right, Jumptown is going to be Saturday, Sunday, and then Ninetales Lockdown, which maybe if they fix it is going to be like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're going to do Xeno Threat on Friday, Saturday, and then we're going to do Jumptown next week on Monday, Tuesday, and then just keep rotating the 3 events for like 2 days or even a day. I think that'd be kind of cool to like have a rotating schedule of the 3 dynamic events that are kind of, there's like 1 or 2 days off where there's no events happening, so the game is like normal, and then you have an event for 2 days, and then you have a day or 2 off, and then an event for 2 days. And I think that would kind of consistently bring that interestingness and variability to the universe, but still give us time frames where there's nothing going on. It's normal gameplay.
Sure. I think
cool.
I think Jumptown, or I don't know, Xeno, I am kind of bored of it.
It's the Xeno is the same event every time.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't complete,
it's perfectly scripted.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the problem with it.
Yeah.
Where Ninetales,
somebody
well broken, not as scripted.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ninetales I think Ninetales was my favorite idea of the 3.
Me
Ninetales
too.
Lockdown, because not only is it opposed, but you do have cargo running, so it involves like people actually buying, like it's a cargo mission, because you can go buy medical supplies and bring it back to sell at the station. You have to blockade run. Red players get a taste of having the God marker, which is really cool for them.
Yep.
Because if you have the red player mission, you get God markers on the medical running ships.
Yep.
And what else? They engage FPS gameplay in some of the Starfarer wrecks, loading and unloading cargo at the Starfarer wrecks. They engage like traveling, in normal flight and obviously space combat and things like that. And there's a red side and a blue side. It's a very cool, I think it's maybe the most complete dynamic event for all players.
From an idea perspective, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, from an idea perspective, it's just so broken.
No.
Like the way it completes and the way it pays out and stuff like that, it just wasn't as good. Plus, occasionally it spawns like 70 hammerheads during the last stage, which is
really.
Yeah, we had one time where there was at least 70 hammerheads flying around. My FPS was like 4, maybe 3.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and we ended up killing them all. It was bonkers. But yeah, it's a great event. The idea is great. It's just it needs a lot more work, I think.
Sure. Well, all right, Zero. It's about lunchtime for me. I have a hockey game today. So I'm gonna first one since COVID. So I'm a little nervous about this one, about like my lung capacity
good,
and all that stuff. So I'm a little worried because like there's those like heart issues that can come with COVID, and I don't, you never know. So I am a little nervous about this, but I got to get out there and start exercising again. I've been so sedentary for so long. It's crazy. Even mentally sedentary I've been. So when I went back to work
for sure
on Friday was my first shift back. I was thrown in basically into the deep end for me the games that I know the least and are very, very difficult for me. Yes, ice hockey. And I really struggled, like, mentally to stay focused and do the things I know how to do. And like yesterday, my stream, I woke up and I just watched YouTube videos because I was like, I can't do anything where I have to think. I just need to chill because I was actually really struggling because I sat around and watched movies for 3 weeks straight. That's all I did. It was great, but it is like not mentally stimulating at all. And then I got back in and it was like, yo, you are not ready for this.
My first day back to work was very similar. It felt like I had like a million emails that piled up, right? And it was just you're just out of it, you know? Like you're just like, man, I haven't sat in this chair. I haven't been here in like almost 2 weeks. It's just such a weird feeling. Being back.
Yesterday,
like, even though you know how to do everything, you know, it's just like
yesterday I was good. I made basically 0 mistakes, which is not like you always like. There's so many things that are going on, so much math that you're doing constantly that you will occasionally make a mistake. It's a guarantee. And I made like one minor one that I was able to catch before I actually made a bad mistake, and that was it. And so like it just took a day to like get back into it, but hopefully it's the same way physically as it was mentally. So that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully it goes good, dude.
Appreciate
Best of luck.
Appreciate
it. What do you play in hockey? I'm not a huge hockey aficionado, but
defense.
You play defense? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So okay. I got into it. I always loved hockey, but I'm 5'8", and I was very short and very scrawny. I'm still very scrawny, but I was very, very scrawny when I was in like middle school and high school, and my parents were not cool with me playing hockey at that age, and we didn't have any money, so the idea of hockey is an incredibly expensive sport. And my dad has been working his way up his whole life and eventually was in a very nice position by the time I was in high school, so he could afford hockey equipment and things like that. And I started playing when I was a freshman in high school. So they put us all on a freshman team, and like nobody was on varsity that just came in except for the kids that were really good. And they were like, what do you guys want to play? And everyone was like, I want to be the center. I want to score goals. And I was like, I just want to play. So nobody said defense. So I was like, I'll do defense. And within, I think like 3 weeks, I was playing defense on the varsity team. And that was like, that was it. And then I actually
you pick it up.
I was a goalie my junior and senior year of high school for our team because our goalie moved and there was no goalie. And I put on his pads during a spring league game, and they were like, you're the goalie now. Because
you're the goalie.
I played baseball. I was a catcher. And we had some very high level pitchers that were going to like play D1 and stuff like that for baseball. So they're throwing 89 to 93 miles an hour and like with movement. Most hockey players in New Jersey hockey were not shooting at those speeds. So it was like everything was slowed down for me, and I actually like picked it up pretty easily, and we ended up like winning the championship my senior year of like only 2 years playing hockey. So I was a goalie, but that equipment was purchased by the high school. I had to give it back, and goalie equipment is like $5K, $6K to like
really.
It's very hockey is
holy shit.
It is a rich people sport, unfortunately.
Just like streaming then.
No, because you don't need a fancy SM7B mic and a nice camera like some, you know? Like, you have the nice mic, I got a nice camera. Like, we don't need those things to be streamers.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
We do those things because we want our streams to look nicer.
Yeah,
it's true. For us. It's not for anybody else. But the, hockey equipment is incredibly expensive. When I got into hockey, sticks were still wood. And they were like $15. But my freshman year in high school, I think, was the first year that the carbon fiber sticks came out that we have now.
Yeah.
And they are hundreds of dollars. And it is
crazy.
Like, like, you know, like not wealthy communities in Canada and the United States, that is the struggle. The NHL is like going to Bauer and Easton and these other companies that make sticks and are like, yo, can we do something about this? Because it is actually hurting the sport.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. How do they, I mean, I assume they have refrigeration there because it's typically fairly warm.
Yes, that's the other thing that's
Minnesota,
incredibly expensive.
it's a lot easier to maintain hockey rinks.
Yep.
Because it's cold here. I mean,
Yeah.
I think yesterday it was like negative 13 degrees when I woke up.
Disgusting.
So not as not as cold in Florida.
Do you want to get jealous?
Maybe.
It is 80 degrees right now.
Oh, fuck you so much. I didn't
80
think you were
degrees.
going to say 80. I thought you were like 55
degrees
or 60.
For you EU people, would you like the Celsius? Just 26. 26 Celsius. Yes. Beautiful. But hockey is obviously expensive to maintain the rinks and stuff as well here.
Yeah,
what
sure.
The real problem we get is there's condensation a lot on the ceiling, and it falls onto the ice and creates like puddles that the ice melts. And if you like break an ankle and shit in there, it's really dangerous. But yeah, they finally fixed that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Orothar. Oh, fuck you.
Agatsu goes, yeah, but still in Florida, so I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I get it. I don't like all aspects of Florida, but this is why you live here. It is February 6th. This is why you live here. That's it.
Yeah.
This is the only reason.
That's true.
You put up with everything.
BRB, I'm just gonna book a vacation. Do you like rent out a room in your house on like what's it called? Airbnb. Do you Airbnb?
I do not.
I'll rent it. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I do not. I tell you
what. Garage, maybe.
I don't think I would ever have roommates ever again. Would you?
No,
We're about the
I
same
think that'd
age.
be tough.
Yeah,
that'd be really tough.
I don't think I can
I've done it enough. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a little lonely, but
yep.
it beats waking up to your sink full of nasty, rotten dishes or something,
We'll end on this.
Or whatever.
Does streaming help with the loneliness sometimes? It did.
Oh, definitely.
It did for me for sure. But
yeah,
eventually you have to reach out.
The worst part of streaming is that you spend like 4, 5, 8 hours with people and constantly talking with people. So you feel like you're filled up with that.
Yeah.
Like with that like togetherness. And then you hit the stop streaming red button on OBS.
Yep.
And there's dead silence.
Yeah.
Like and you're now all of a sudden you're like it's like right I don't know how to describe it. Like there's like this high and you have to stay up.
Yes.
Like here.
Well,
and then you hit
streaming
that
is like a
and
drug.
It's not like it doesn't like taper off like this. Like you get to say goodbye to all your friends over a period of like half an hour, like if it was like a house party or something.
Yeah.
It is this to this and it's 0. And now you're just like I'm alone here.
Yeah. Streaming is definitely like a
I need
drug.
to pet my dog or something, And
in that
that's
aspect.
a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's like it's very drug-like in that aspect. But
it's very good overall. Yeah.
I think one of the other things with like being around people in person, and I don't get this very much, is the when you're leaving and you're saying goodbye, you're planning the next time and you have that next moment to look forward to.
That's
like
true.
Yes, your stream is the next day, but it's not that same feeling. It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's a duality for sure.
Yeah, and then the other thing is like a situation that you're in and that I was in more than I am now is the working full-time and streaming is like it is very difficult to have time to bring another being into your life. I balance that every day. It is so difficult. And
I have to have a disclaimer with anybody that I like hang out with or anybody that I meet if I was like going to date somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
The disclaimer is like I do this and I do this and you need to communicate with me about time that we spend together. And I need to communicate with you about that because if we don't do that, this is going to destroy you. Everything that I have is going to destroy you.
But it will also destroy you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because like the things that I would have to do to just spend time with her when we first started dating is I would work Monday night until when did we close? I can't remember what time. I think it was 4 a.m. And I would go to breakfast with one of the dealers because I was a supervisor, and I would go to breakfast with one of the dealers that night. And we'd like right before the sun would come up, she would wake up, I would go pick her up, and we would go to the beach. And then
that's cool.
But I was exhausted.
Yeah, I get you.
Fucking exhausted, right? So like that's the thing is like the sacrificing, even if it's just for friends, it is so difficult. It is the hardest thing.
True.
Do you have goals for streaming?
It would
do
be
you
cool
just
to be,
enjoy it? Do you like
it
have
would be
these
cool
like
to
I
be
want to
full-time.
achieve? Yeah.
Yeah, it would be cool to be full time. It's something that when I started streaming, like it was like 4.5 years ago, I was like, it's a cool hobby.
Yeah.
It's a cool hobby. Maybe I'll meet some folks, whatever. But it would be really cool to be genuinely full time. It's hard because my full time job has like pretty good benefits. It's a hospital. The pay's okay. And it's like it's really hard to get to a place in my life where I'm like with streaming where I'm like, okay, I can set this down, And I think you're in a similar position where you make decent money doing what you're doing at,
I make insanely good money doing what
there we
I'm
go.
doing. It's ridiculous.
See, and it's I'm in that.
You don't
kinda
need an
same-
education, and I make money more. I think I make more money than people per hour that are in like software
Wow.
and shit. Yeah.
Hey, good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah, but it's per hour, and they work 3 days a week.
Content probably pulls in a good amount as well.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys sub to Mike's OnlyFans. It's pretty lit, honestly.
It's insane. But I am in a very unique position and very lucky in the place that I work, what I do there. Most poker dealers do not make what I make.
Well, that's good.
But I do ridiculously well, and I cannot justify leaving that for this.
I know what you mean. And I'm kind of in that a similar, I mean, maybe not quite to that level, but I'm in a similar area where I'm like, it's going to take quite a bit more to allow me to comfortably leave what I have, you know? So yeah, definitely.
If I worked full-time hours, I'd probably make 120,000 a year.
Oh, it's time to quit streaming. Work full time. Screw these people.
You
honestly.
Can't. That's the difference. Is it doesn't exist. Full time doesn't exist. You're just a part time.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
So you even though you make a lot per hour, you don't have the ability to make that much.
Yeah,
they don't allow you to, and nor would I want to. I don't want to be there that many. What I love about that is I make my 50,000 a year, working 3 days a week, 18 hours a week.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's a special thing too.
I think a lot of people in the last 5 years have probably seen the transition of miserable Mike to SaltEMike, maybe, because I was actually like a miserable human being, and now I'm just like, man, I just wish Star Citizen was better. But in general, I'm a much happier person because I can eat and I can keep the roof over my head, and I don't really need anything else, and that's how I look at it. So,
yeah, I think it's important to, I don't know, like settle down in life in a way, but like that's a big part of genuinely settling down is feeling content.
Yes.
Like and happy with what you have. I am
so happy.
Yeah, and that's really good to hear, honestly, because there's a lot of people that aren't.
Yep.
And for somebody that and I consider you a friend, I guess,
Yeah.
And to see a friend be happy is one of the best feelings, to be honest. So
yeah, and I used to be like, this casino is just like one of the best places ever to work, and the clientele there is amazing. The clientele will really wear you down. It's basically like think about living on Spectrum. That would be like working in a casino. Like that would be the comparison, is if you had to live in Spectrum, that was your home. And the idea of being able to do that and not be miserable anymore is really good. And I would say I'm just like at peace and content. And I used to really want my stream to hit that full-time possibility because I didn't want to do that anymore. And now I'm in a very similar place to you. It'll be cool if it happens.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like if something happens, it'll be really cool. So we'll see.
You also have to recognize the absolute like luck and position that you're in. Yeah. Like both of us, right? We're in like this incredible position that we have the ability to possibly pop off and not ever have to like work again. Maybe like not ever have to work again. Not that streaming
not like
isn't
a 9 to 5. Yeah.
Not a 9 to 5, exactly. And I do not get health benefits. No. So, yeah. The idea of that kind of stuff is something that is cool, but it'll be cool if it happens, and I'm not going to rush it, but I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that I put myself in the position to make it happen. So
yeah,
2
sure.
YouTube channels, a Twitch channel, like I'm doing everything I possibly can to position it to hard work creates luck.
Yep.
And that's what I'm trying to do now.
I agree.
Yeah.
It creates the opportunities for luck to strike.
Exactly.
Know? And that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Lightning doesn't
you're
strike.
Doing that 2 YouTube thing, what's his name? Pay Money Wubby. I think he's got 2 YouTube videos.
A lot of people do.
Or two YouTube channels. A lot of people do, yeah.
Yep.
And that's good because if you have like one specific type of content and another specific type of content, you mix those together too much and it gets weird, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I just know what I want this channel to be. I want this channel to be more like edited and guides and discussions about Star Citizen, and I want the other channel as just like a look into me, who I am, what I think about whatever, and
that's
live stream highlights.
Yeah,
like just that kind of thing. It's just like a little more unedited. Is how I look at it.
Yeah, I'd say that's a great idea. I thought it was cool. I think was it a few months ago? 3-4 months ago? Maybe longer. Time flies.
That I started making that second channel.
The SaltEMike 2, yeah.
Yeah, a couple months ago. And
a couple months, yeah.
Yeah, it's partnered, monetized already, and
sweet.
Yeah,
that's good.
So, and I don't keep any of the money, which is cool. I'm giving it all to Darklaw's son, Jack, who
he does some videos for you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not even doing any on the second channel or the main channel because it's actually he's going to college and all these things, and he was working a job while at college, and I want to provide this to be his job while he's at college, and then he can just focus on school, but he's not allowed to not focus on school for me.
Yeah.
So all he's doing currently is I take the unedited clip, he doesn't edit it, puts a thumbnail up, just clips it at beginning and end, and we put it up there, and he puts a thumbnail up, puts the ads in, and that's it. So he like runs the channel, but he allows me to have a video every day, and there's value in that. So that's the value that he deserves, I think, is whatever the money is on that channel. So
and that's really cool.
Yeah, he's awesome too. And then I think eventually where I'd love to get to is like where we could both edit a video together, but I don't know how to do that exactly. So that's like one of my to-do list things is like, can we team up on a Premiere project, and how does it work between somebody who lives in Scotland and somebody who lives in the US?
Yeah.
How do we
do
that?
To use like, I don't know, like TeamViewer or something might work. I don't know.
Yeah.
Worth a shot.
Hell
for sure. Well, I should let you get lunch. Yes.
Yes.
And hopefully you don't die of asphyxiation while playing hockey later.
Yeah. I'll let you know if I do or if I don't.
Yeah,
okay?
for sure. For sure. Yeah. And if they have CitizenCon this year, I'm gonna buy you a beer.
Yes.
For sure.
Definitely.
Or whatever. A daiquiri. What are you into? Appletinis?
I like vodka tonic.
Okay, all right. A man of class.
Like
all
not
right.
much like flavored drinks. I love sweet drinks, but not with alcohol in them.
I get you. Yeah.
That makes sense. I love soda and stuff.
All right.
But yeah.
Absolutely.
But all right, dude.
Well,
I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
If they have or if I take a vacation to Florida because Minnesota's depressing, then I'll let you know.
Yes, please do, for sure.
Cool.
We'll take you. Have you ever had Cuban food?
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
We will take you.
Not like. Okay.
We will take you where they don't speak English. And it's the best food you will ever eat in your entire life.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Sounds right. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Most American food is a little bit dumbed down for our Midwestern taste buds, I think.
Yes. All the signs are in Spanish, everything. It is the best. We just had it like 3-4 weeks ago. It is the best food. Probably 4 weeks ago because I was sick after. But yeah, it was the best food I've ever eaten in my entire life. Was this little Havana place that we went to in Miami. It was amazing. But yes, looking forward to CitizenCon, not just seeing you, but for seeing many others. It'll be really cool to meet up with all the people we've made acquaintances and made friends with over the last like little COVID period, right? So be awesome,
for sure.
Dude. All right, bro.
I never did this with Mike. You asked earlier about a bunch of streamers and like interesting things about them. I never did one for you. The first time I ever tuned into your stream ever, I was at work.
I'm worried.
Within the first 30 seconds of me tuning in, there was somebody being an asshole in chat, genuinely an asshole.
Yeah.
And one of the first phrases I heard you say ever on stream was, "I'm gonna ban this guy. Fuck that guy. What an idiot." And it was like I died laughing because it was totally deserved.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a funny entrance into your channel. I thought that was good.
It is a good representation too. Yeah.
Good representation. Yes. Yeah. The toxicity really flowed in that moment. It was good. It was quality.
It was good. But all right, Zero. Again, thank you for watching. I'll have all the links and stuff for you in description. So if you guys want to check out Zero stuff, you stream what like every day? What time?
Not every day. Okay. I would say 5-ish days a week. Usually about 6 p.m. Central Time is the stream.
There you go.
Around that time. Weekends.
And do you have like
but,
scheduled days off or?
Yeah, typically it's Wednesday or Tuesday. So like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. One of those two schedules usually plays out.
That explains why I catch you always. And I thought you stream 7 days a week. It's because like the 2 days that I don't really go on stream, like watch much stuff, is Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm just like chilling at night, and it explains why I don't see it. Yeah, so it makes sense. All right, bro. Enough. We'll catch you soon. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
All right. So that was Zero. That was awesome. I appreciate it. Be good, Zero. We'll talk to you soon, dude. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. He's an amazing pilot. I think he is, like I've said this about Burks, and I think Zero is right up there. They are amazing streamers for almost different reasons. And like Zero is just the sweetest, nicest human I've come across in this community. Great pilot, good at the game, knowledgeable about the game, and just genuine as shit. And it's awesome. Burks, great at the game, charismatic as hell, knows a lot about the game, like great at talking to chat, same things, right? Those people are, I think, the cream is starting to rise for who's going to be who if the game ever takes off. And I think those are two people that are like really, really, really going to be there, versus, you know, the people who've been around forever, who like myself, right? Where I see these people like doing it and doing it well, and I really look up to them, and it's awesome. So thank you, Zero, for coming on, and I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to some Jump Town action. It's gonna be awesome. So talk to you soon, guys. If as always, this is Answer the Call, so it'll be up on YouTube later today. If you're watching on Twitch and didn't catch the whole thing, it'll be up on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can stop by and catch on Twitch. As I said at the beginning, I think next week we will probably talk about the roadmap stuff and give my platform up to you guys, which I think is really the point of the show. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I hope it doesn't get too toxic, and I hope we can have a good conversation about it. But it seems to have been very difficult to do so. So I think I'll put a big call out and see. I think it's also a good idea to wait till people calm down a little bit as well. And we'll see if people can have a legitimate conversation about this. But even myself, I can see myself. I get heated when people don't like get my point of view. And I see that's why some people get heated about things. So yeah, we'll have to see. I won't pre-screen. I don't like doing that. I mean, we've even had some like people who are banned in the channel now on the podcast before. So we'll see. Hopefully it's good. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye, everyone.